Republican minds want to know.
President Donald Trump has ordered his administration to investigate his predecessor, Joe Biden. President Trump is asking his administration to look into President Joe Biden's use of an auto pen to sign pardons and other documents. The memo came after House Republicans requested transcribed interviews with 5 former Biden aides, alleging that they had participated in a cover-up. So far, the Republican inquiry has focused on the final moves of the Biden administration, which they claim may be invalid. Haya Panjwani, Washington.
A dozen countries are on President Trump's radar. Their citizens will be barred from entering the U.S. The president says these are countries where we can't safely and reliably vet and screen those who seek to enter the United States. Unemployment applications hit an 8-month high last week as 247,000 Americans filed for benefits, according to the Labor Department. On Friday, the government will release the jobs report for the month of May. The U.S. has vetoed a UN Security Council resolution demanding an immediate, permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Israel's UN Ambassador Danny Danon says the ceasefire proposal was patently unfair.
This resolution is not a step forward. It ignores the reality on the ground. It disregards the negotiations that are already underway. It betrays the very people it claims to protect. Israel will continue to fight for the return of our hostages.
And the bodies of 2 of the hostages seized by Hamas in 2023 and taken to Gaza have now been recovered by Israel. The terrorists continue holding 56 captives in Gaza. On Wall Street, ahead of the opening bell, Dow futures are up 88 points, and NASDAQ futures better by 61. More on these stories at townhall.com.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling Grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2025 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 7/20/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation of single-line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
Progressive knows RV owners like to travel at a nice, relaxing pace. Just like this commercial. They're not rushing to a departure gate at the airport because they depart from their driveway. And they can relax even more knowing they're protected by Progressive. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
At least 5 people, including a 1-year-old child, were killed in an overnight Russian drone strike on a city in northern Ukraine. It wasn't the only such attack launched by Russia under the cover of darkness.
The local governor said 6 Shahed-type drones struck the residential areas of Priluki early Thursday morning, causing severe damage to residential buildings. Hours later, over a dozen people were wounded in a Russian drone strike on the eastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv, according to the regional head. Ukraine's Black Sea Odessa region was also attacked by drones overnight, as state emergency footage showed firefighters attempting to put out a blaze in a local residential building. The attack came just hours after Donald Trump spoke by phone with Russian President Vladimir Putin. According to Trump, Putin said very strongly that Russia will retaliate for Ukraine's weekend's stunning drone attacks on Russian military airfields. I'm Karen Shamas.
News and analysis at townhall.com. Here's a heads up if you've purchased ground beef recently from a Whole Foods market.
Officials have issued a public health alert for 1-pound packages of organic rancher beef. The ground beef was sold at Whole Foods markets and may be contaminated with E. coli bacteria. The U.S. Food Safety and Inspection Service is specifically warning about packages produced between May 22nd and May 23rd. They have use-by dates of June 19th and June 20th. A recall was not issued since the meat is no longer being sold, but officials warn some consumers may still have it in their refrigerators. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
An adolescent loggerhead sea turtle named Dilly Dally is back in the Atlantic months after having a front flipper amputated at a Florida turtle hospital. The terrapin was brought to Loggerhead Marine Life Center in January, suffering from predator wounds. All the procedures successful. Dilly Dally is now back home. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here? I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday.
Yes, welcome to it.
One day closer.
TGI Thursday.
Although it's kind of weird, got another one of these cloudy days and overcast. Although
yeah,
it's supposed to get sunny. We do have like a 30% chance of rain, but
yeah, I know.
It feels different.
We were gonna try to, go to the pool today, and of course, it's doing this stuff. The sun would come out. I think we'll be fine.
I think your poor daughter just has a jinx when it comes to swimming.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just like when if you want it to rain, you wash your car.
Yeah.
If you want it to rain, just tell Rhiannon that we're going to go swimming.
Yeah, we won't live in a desert anymore, and we will thank her for it.
The good news is she takes bad news really, really well.
Yeah. You just got to get an indoor pool. That's the lesson here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, happy Thursday. Hope everyone having a wonderful day. Of course, it kind of broke bigger news yesterday. About Job Corps being closed and everything. I know they've been talking about it.
It hit the national headlines.
Yeah,
yesterday.
it was all over the regular news.
And now
everything.
people are starting with the campaigns and the
good.
Yeah,
Good.
petitions.
I mean, this is
absolutely. That's how stuff gets done. It's just it feels too little, too late. You know?
Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah. But yeah, the part that kind of bugs me more than anything, it's like the programs things. It happens, but. Like from what I'm understanding is there's these students that they're like, hey, door's closed.
Yeah.
And then they're literally saying, good luck to you.
Tomorrow.
And just sending you on your way. And I'm like, that I have a problem with. It's like, all right,
it's disgusting.
We need to find other solutions for these folks.
And, in a time like this when there's so many resources available. God, I'm sarcastic this morning.
But, this is going to be one of these. Fight that fight. I'm not. This has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with any of this stuff.
At all.
What I'm trying to tell you right now is the big lesson from this, young folks, and this is something I learned at a young age, and this is another one. It's a sad one, but it is a true reminder of what I'm about to tell you is the more you figure out how to do things for yourself, the better quality of life you will have.
You're absolutely right. It's just in order to do for oneself, one needs resources.
Absolutely. I'm not trying to do, but
sure.
But what I'm trying to say is read the tea leaves. Here are the things. These are regardless of what sides of anything you are on. This is true in life.
Right.
By the end of the day, the more you're able to do your thing and able to make yourself ability to take care of yourself, the better off in life you're going to be. And this is what I want people to like, look, here's the big picture lesson here is see this, pay attention to it. And I know people in my age get a little crotchety, like, oh, we've already, but folks that are in their teens and early 20s and younger, take note. Take note. That's what I'm trying to say.
The one piece of advice that I would give in that same vein is allow yourself to become a specialist in your field, whatever that field happens to be.
Make yourself invaluable.
Make yourself invaluable. That's the biggest step up for me as an individual, as a human.
Sure.
Is making it so that you can't do this without me here. You can't do this without Mike here. We couldn't do this without Jocelyn here. These are specialties. These are. I'm hoping Gene is listening. These are invaluable.
He's like, hold my beer, Sean.
Oh, really? We were fine before you got here. I'm just saying the most important thing that I ever learned was if you make yourself an important cog in the machine, it's very hard to make it work without that cog.
Sure.
It's possible.
Yep.
It's just hard.
Absolutely.
So that's the one takeaway from this is find something that you are passionate about, that you can be passionate about, and learn every single aspect of it.
Well, and the message needs to be rung true for younger folks today, because the world we live in is pushing us into being able to do less and less yourself.
Right.
With technology comes the good side, but it comes a very bad side of now you're reliant on the machine. You're reliant on everything to sustain your needs.
I was listening to a story this morning about how just how generative AI is sort of like permeating universities and specifically like, papers that kids write. And some of the things that professors do to weed out clearly AI generated, like one professor was talking about how he's assigned the same, is an English professor. He's assigned the same books for, eons, so he knows page numbers. And so AI, at least the AI that he has tested, doesn't have the ability to cite page numbers when it comes to using quotes. It just does. It can't do that.
Not yet.
Not yet. So that's one way. He's like, I looked at that page. I couldn't find the quote. Could you go ahead and find it for me? He'll hand the student the book. Or the other one is, if a paper that they turn in has words that student wouldn't normally use, he has them read it out loud in class. If they can't pronounce the word that they wrote, that's a pretty big giveaway.
Yeah.
Although I did stop at that one, because I know people who write the word plethora a lot and then will straight-faced and without any apology say plethora.
Yeah.
And I want to punch a baby.
Well, and I'm one of those people that deliberately mispronounce words sometimes.
Well, sure. Yeah, I'll put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. That's just fun. But
you
have to have a grasp of the English language in order to play with it like that.
But I do it so often I don't even, it's not even just show shtick. I'm just literally just in my day-to-day doing it. I'm like, oh yeah, I should not do that.
Right.
I sound like a rube.
Yeah, you just be walking through.
Like I'll do that. It's the epitome of excellence. I do it all the time.
You ever find yourself accidentally in real life saying the word variety?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I just do.
Yeah.
That's just how my brain is.
It's just more evidence to the fact that we're not like, putting on an act or showboating for you. What you see is what you get, kids.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. For me, yes. I mean, this is me. I'm happy, but I'm an introvert by nature.
Sure.
So when I'm off air, I'm more quiet, I'm not the loudmouth, I try not to be.
Well, I'm not as much anymore. I mean, that was how I got my foot in the door. Nowadays, I'd much rather just be behind closed doors.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I know. I've never denied that. I'm a little weird, but I love the radio talk show. I love to do this.
Well, we're in a box talking to each other. Or to a small group of guests.
I hate the public side of all of it. I'm not. I don't like being in public like that.
I out loud said to somebody yesterday, "Don't worry. From here, I'm going home. No one has to see me."
Right. Yeah. And it's I mean, I do it all the time. Obviously, I got to live, but yeah, I'm just not. And Sean understands. Part of it is when and we have very little celebrity. I'm not even trying to. But like when people know you for a thing, they expect you to do the thing all the time, and it's fine to a point, but at some point you're just like, I don't want to do a whole show for you right here. I'm trying to buy a dinner.
I've found in public, I need buffers. I need like a third person or like just somebody who I'm comfortable having a conversation with in order to converse with someone else. I need a buffer.
A buffer.
Yep.
A Michael buffer.
Michael buffer. It's getting incredibly expensive to hang out with my friends.
Yeah, he's not cheap.
Oh, sure, he'll show up. He'll say his thing.
Right. He get paid.
That's right.
Well, I don't blame him. I mean, he got famous for, let's face it,
5 words.
5 words in a very, deep bravado voice. Mm-hmm. And
although I would argue the "Let's Get Ready to Rumble," I had to put a space there for copyright reasons, is what made him famous.
Sure.
But it's also for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world.
Yeah.
It's the bravado of, like you said, the act of it.
What I love
really
more about all of
butters
it
the bread
is not so much even that the Michael Buffer is the Michael Buffer and what he got, but I love the Michael Buffer adjacents that have all showed up. They're like, we can't get Buffer, but we can get it's fight time, guy, or we can get,
let's get it on.
Right.
Miles, the ref from. The only thing I remember him from was he was the referee on Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah,
Let's get it
well,
on.
He also
guy.
was a real.
I know he was a real
like
referee.
Tyson fights and everything else. But,
a boxing ref, but that's the only thing I remember him from was Celebrity Deathmatch.
But there's a couple announcers and they all do the Buffer or Buffer like, and they say. Like there's one that goes, it's showtime. Mm-hmm. There's it's fight time. I've heard 3 or 4 different ones.
Fight night.
Yeah.
It's clobbering time. Is the one I've heard.
That's BattleBots.
Yeah. It's clobbering time.
Robot fighting time, and that's Baruch, but he's different. Mm-hmm. Like he's a swaggy, cooler Buffer.
Oh yeah.
Because he does poetry. That's why he's better. Farouk does a whole poem about the BattleBot before he introduces him, and it's a whole shtick. So Michael Buffer ain't got nothing on Farouk.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, here we go. So Michael Buffer's brother is named Bruce Buffer.
Bruce Buffer.
And he is also an announcer.
Nice.
And when people can't afford Michael Buffer for a lesser fee, he'll send out his brother.
Wow.
To do his thing.
This is like Bill and Roger Clinton all over again.
It's basically Bruce Buffer is Michael Buffer's manager.
Nice.
And when Michael Buffer's fee can't be met, Bruce will fill in.
Gallagher 2 comes out.
That's right. Well, it's basically the same thing as Jim Hanks.
Yeah.
Anytime you hear Woody that's not in a movie,
good for him, man.
It's his brother Jim.
He gets all the money and none of the hassle of being a celebrity. Once in a while, he's at a Denny's going, "Aren't you Tom Hanks' brother?" Yes, I am.
Or how like Ron Howard will shoehorn his brother into just whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
He was one of the. He was one of the guys on the panel in Apollo 13.
Well, he's in everything.
Yeah.
He's in pretty much. Well, and he's almost in every Sandler movie like Buscemi and them are.
Opie's brother?
Yeah, he
really?
pops up in a lot of them.
Huh. That's not one of the Sandler crew I would have seen coming. Although
he's one of the ones like I'm pretty sure he's in Waterboy. I'm pretty sure anyone that has like just odd people. I think he's there. Just he may have one line. He may have no lines. He's there. It's like Sandler's wife's in all these movies too.
I knew Sandler's wife was.
But I don't. He's not in every Sandler movie, but he's in a bunch of them.
No, I hate AI so much. Ron Howard does not have a brother named Adam Sandler. I know that. Ron Howard's brother is Clint Howard. They're both actors and filmmakers. Adam Sandler's a scepter guy.
Is our guests here and everything?
Yeah, they're here.
Okay, good. I was like, I don't know, we probably should get the show going.
We don't need to stall no mo. I think the point of all this is, hate to see you go, Job Corps.
Although
learn a specialty.
This is something. Speaking of Howard's, and then we're moving on. Like by accident, I watched like back-to-back Jurassic Park movies this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. 1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, of the newer
the original, the new ones, right? The Chris Pratt ones.
The ones with the question I'm about to ask. Is Bryce Howard in anything other than Jurassic Park movies? Because I don't know anything that she's in that's other than the Jurassic Park movies.
She showed up for like an episode of Arrested Development.
Okay. I'm like, how is she literally famous? Like, just other than being Ron Howard's daughter.
Well, the joke on I don't honestly know. But the joke on Arrested Development was he named all of his daughters based on where they were conceived. So like Bryce Dallas Howard. And in the show, he has another daughter whose name is Rebel Alley. Because she was conceived in an alley. But I'm be curious to see.
Because to be honest, I was sick and I was like, I've not seen her in any other movies other than the Jurassic Park movies.
I'm sure she's been in stuff, but
yeah, probably. I'm sure.
Lots of Ron Howard joints.
You know me and my.
I'll look into it and I'll let you know next hour.
Let me give you the rundown for the show here. We got a full slate for you here in just a few minutes. Kirk Klingsmith's going to join us with Bitter Lake Farms. Back, of course, last time we talked to him, he had his Adobe Brick Workshop. They've got a bunch of stuff going on since then and coming up. So we'll get an update from Kirk here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, Rick Lamb with Roswell Boys and Girls Club will join us. They got a couple of stuff after school or summer lunch programs and some other great programs going on through Roswell Boys and Girls Club to get us updated on. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Crystal Noble with the Roswell Humane Society will join us, give us an update on pets available for adoption and any deals, things going on at the thrift store as well. Before we do any of that stuff, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. We do have rain chances today, tomorrow, and a hot weekend in store.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. We're headed for the low and mid-90s. Mix of sun and clouds, but we do have a stationary front over our area. Maybe an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Watch out for some damaging wind and hail with a few of those storms. Overnight, some showers and thunderstorms possible. We'll be in the upper 60s, and then maybe an afternoon shower on Friday, upper 90s to about 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 74 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity also at 74%. Coincidence? You bet it is. Wind speeds are currently out of the southeast at 8 miles per hour. We are looking at a 30% chance at some afternoon showers. They're talking after 3 today. Partly cloudy otherwise. Mid-90s, 94 the expected high today with south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 64. South winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. Friday, we're looking at a 20% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, sunny and a hot 98 are high on Friday. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, clear, overnight low of 65. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then the weekend, another hot one on Saturday. Sunny, 98 for a high. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny and hot, 99. Got a Wayne Gretzky for you on Sunday. And then next week, Monday does get down into the lower 90s, and we got some rain chances Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 20, 30%. But looks like low 90s Monday and then upper 80s Tuesday and Wednesday next week. So looks like we do get a cooling trend next week, but we start warming till then. All right, 7:23, we're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we will talk with Kirk and Bitter Lakes Farms on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
Sheep Street Silver and Stones is Roswell's newest full-service jewelry store. They offer a complete selection of jewelry, including gold, silver, turquoise, bridal sets, and fine jewelry. They also offer lapidary, repairs, and complete custom design. Shop Sheep Street Silver and Stones, 3020 North Main in Roswell, across from Blake's. Sheep Street Silver and Stones. Hard to say, easy to love.
Check out some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select cans of Food Club veggies are 3 for $2, and jars of creamy or crunchy Food Club peanut butter are $1.88 each. In produce, 2-pound tubs of red ripe strawberries are $3.99, and juicy cantaloupe are 2 for $3. In the meat department, family packs of bone-in sirloin cut pork chops are $1.49 a pound, and whole fryers are $1.19 a pound. These are just some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Growing things in Roswell is a battle. Your lawn's trying to turn brown, your trees are wanting to turn yellow, the weeds want to take over, and the fleas and ticks are trying to move in. So come down to Roswell Seed Company and choose your weapons. We have fertilizer to make your lawn lush and lovely, iron to keep your trees nice and green, sprays to kill the weeds, and more sprays to chase away the fleas and ticks. This is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. Yeah, it's a jungle out there, except it never rains.
Got a pothole or some other issue in your neighborhood? The City of Roswell's Fix It program is your solution. This program is here for Roswell residents to help the city fix issues in your neighborhood. Concerns such as potholes, water leaks, loose manhole covers, fire hazards, abandoned vehicles, and more. To submit a Fix It form, just log on to roswell-nm.gov/form center. The city would like to thank you for your assistance. And remember, call 911 for all emergencies and call the city at 575-637-6200 for all other business.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion. Unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 26 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, back with us from Bitter Lakes Farms. Of course, Kirk is back with us. Kirk Kingsmith now. Shirley, his wife, as well. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good morning. Good thanks.
Thanks for coming back, and thanks for coming by. I love what you guys do out there. Of course, you know the day job is your farm. You got it's nuts out there.
Yes, it is.
but which you know. That part of it, that kind of supports the family, does the thing and everything else, and which is awesome. But you're kind of then take and say, we got this land, we got this stuff, we've got opportunities to do things with the community, and really that's, you guys have kind of hit the ground running with that, and kind of, we started with the, talking about adobe bricks and things last time, but that's kind of, it's spawned and grown and grown some legs and gotten a little bit bigger here in the last time we've talked to you.
Yeah.
So, but kind of fill in the gaps where I kind of just kind of give folks a little bit of the story here.
Well, it's been interesting because these workshops, we've started doing a few workshops and we're getting people signed up. And so just a group of people sitting around a table painting bird cages, or we're going to have our second Adobe workshop next weekend, and it's going to be a big one. Just people getting together and talking about whatever comes up. It doesn't really, we have a good little agenda, but what's talked about is life. And it's been really interesting because the characters who are showing up, I like characters. Yeah. And you hear good stuff, and when you start talking ideas, it just blossoms into solutions.
That's the thing that, and this is something that as I'm now, in my 50s and living life, and it's these things you wish you knew 20, 30 years ago type things. And one of these things I'd love to tell young people is kind of what you're saying here is when you come across people with experience and with people with their life, listen to it, pay attention to it. Their journeys help you with your journeys. And not all of it's tales of woe. Some of it's in between, but to get to the glory, sometimes you got to go through the woe, and that's life. And the only way you do that is experiencing sometimes. But sometimes the best way to avoid some of the pitfalls and some of the things is like you're saying, just people talking, people gathering, people sharing life experiences. And I think that's kind of what you're seeing out there is people from all walks of life, from all different parts of the world, and it's always amazing. You're like, how did you end up in Roswell, New Mexico? You know, and you're like, you're from, you know, somewhere, just, you know, whatever. Just, they could be anywhere, different country, just
Zimbabwe.
Maine. Yeah, exactly. He's like, how in God's green earth you ended up here? And it's an amazing story. I ended up here. And that's, you know, that's kind of the stuff you're talking about, right, Kirk?
It is. And I'll add to that, we had Shirley had some of her Wings for Life kids out yesterday, and we had a presentation by this maybe 10 or 11-year-old girl, and she knocked it out of the park. I mean, this gal was sharp. She was asking questions to the people, and she was sharing this business plan she had. It was kind of a little Shark Tank thing. But, I mean, I can learn from the younger ones.
We're in good hands when you got young people talking like that here. And you mentioned Wings for Life. And, yeah, this is, of course, Wings for Life, I think a lot of people know, great organization that works with families, just basically give them life skills, things like that. Also, obviously, there's many branches of Wings for Life. They work within the jails and things to help folks get life skills there too, and so it's great that they're coming out to the farms here and kind of doing more of that here, and but it's even getting to the basics. I mean, you talk about business models and everything else too, which is but it's also just like how to make things with your hands, how to do. Especially in the world where everything's ordered on a phone or built in a factory somewhere. What happens when the thing breaks? No one knows what to do except, I don't have internet. I can't order another one. Guess what? Yeah. People before your time didn't have internet, and they survived somehow. How do they do that? So,
ingenuity, imagination.
And there's a lot of that going on out at Bitter Lakes, which I love here. So I would, So, and this is kind of evolving as it happens here too. It's like if there's people listening that are thinking, "Man, this is a really great idea." When this is what we're trying to say is, "Come one, come all," because you guys are kind of like, "Look, we've got the land, we've got these resources. What can we do with it to make our community better?" And kind of like all things are on the table right now. That's kind of where we're at here. So this is really in that. I don't know, maybe 10 years from now, this is a well-oiled machine, and we got this program, and it does this thing, and they go in and out. Right now, we're not there yet. We're trying to find our identity a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So kind of talk a little bit about the vision that you got, because like you say, we got stuff going on every week, but like, what are you guys seeing? What are you hoping to see? Like, I don't know, 10 years from now, what Bitter Lake Farm or Bitter Lakes Farms look like here? I always get the S's off.
I think what we're looking at is all generations within the community, providing opportunities for them to come out, relax, develop some skills.
Sure.
But my passion is children, elementary school children, and they're our future leaders.
Absolutely.
So if we can harness their intelligence and creativity now, it will only benefit Roswell in the future.
Absolutely.
And so Wings for Life has gone from a social, emotional learning program, which we still incorporated everything, and then we pushed it into leadership, and from the leadership we are going into entrepreneurship. So
right. It's basically the layers of the onion.
Absolutely.
First, before you walk, you got to crawl. So we're kind of teaching them to crawl. We're teaching, and then slowly we're going to get more tools, more. It's life.
Yes.
As you progress in life. Or it's like, to put it in younger terms, like the video game. You do the things to get to the next level, so you acquire the things to get. That's life in an essence.
That's it.
And that's kind of what that is, and that's what it's about. And so, this is where we want you to. At this point, we're just trying to put this on more people's radar and just seeing. And like you said, let the collective come in with the ideas too, and see what they can do. And you had mentioned how it's kind of the generational here with with older generations here relying on there for their wisdom and strength, but also like you said, if we the older generation want to be the ones that sit on the porch and watch the day go by, you got to equip the younger generation so you can sit on the porch.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you got to pass that wisdom, you got to pass that on, and the younger generation. I get it. We're taught to challenge. We're taught to, and absolutely. But sometimes things that have been done for hundreds, thousands of years, There's a reason they've been done hundreds and thousands of years. It's because it's the best way.
Yeah. And I think we do a very good job of marrying that.
Yeah.
And so what we are seeing in the past month that we've been operating is that there are young people out there doing amazing things, and they don't have the venue to set up. So
you're giving them the platform.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's great. And this is what I think I love about it. It's organic, in which it's really grassroots. This is the thing I always say, probably so much on this show that people get tired of hearing it. If you want to live in a better community and you're waiting on someone else to do it, you're going to be waiting a while. If you want a nice place, then you get off your keister and you got to make it happen. And that's what we got to do. If you're waiting for a government program to come in and solve your issues, you're going to be sitting there waiting forever. If you want to do a nice thing, if you want to have a great place, then you have to roll up your sleeves, get to be a part of the community and get involved. And that's the only way it's going to happen. And this is those types of things that do that.
Yes. Yeah.
I had both my parents were World War II vets, and we grew up with hard work and all that, and I still believe in that, and I know that getting your hands dirty and in fact with mud, these kids really like it, and everybody that comes out, signs their name in it, it helps do a load of bricks. There's something about being involved with the work.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have your imagination, you got to have your resources, and you've got to have a little blood and sweat and tears with it. And I don't know. For me, it's organic's the right word for it.
Sure.
But more than that, it's the community that evolves from that, the conversations that happen.
Sure.
You just don't get it sitting in the bar or even a coffee shop. And I love coffee shops.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's like, and this is where we get into the big cranium here. It's because at the end of the day, when you're creating something tangible that you're looking like you know what I mean, like in the computers and world, that's wonderful what we can do, but sometimes when you're just sitting there working with your hands, whether it's gardening or building adobe bricks or whatever, that that's the mental health. That's you one with the thing, like you said, or if it's a small group of people, that's where the family conversations, they're it's the dinner conversation, when you sit down with your kids, literally all sitting around making adobe bricks together. That's kind of that, whether it's the father-son fishing moment or the family, whatever that is, it's an environment to create that.
Yes.
And by at the same time, you're learning a work ethic. You're learning a skill set that you can, and, this has got a little bit of creative, a little bit of handiness. Anytime you take creative things, and you can always learn the rules and then break them later to create the next thing.
Yes,
and this could start from that, and so that's why I love about this. It's like, okay, we're talking about mud, but this is way deeper than the mud you're just talking about. Pardon the pun.
No, absolutely.
So let's talk some upcoming events and things. Let's get some things to get people to come out and invite them to.
Okay. So first of all, we are open every Saturday, regardless of the weather.
That's right. Rain, sleet, or hail.
Yes, from 2 to 7, and we are actively seeking young talent. So if there's anyone who wants to be a photographer, can paint, I'm trying to get a young girl who is a DJ to come out.
Okay.
So the focus is on bringing in as many components from the community.
Sure.
And it's kind of like the buy-in for a project in an informal way.
Gotcha.
So we have a couple of new vendors this weekend, fantastic jewelry.
Awesome. So come and do some shopping.
Come
here.
and do some
Support
shopping.
some local merchants here.
Yes.
And, of course, there'll be a bevy of nuts for you to
Bevy of nuts. Yeah.
And that's cool, because we talked a little bit about, your family story here with the pistachios, like literally the hold my beer type, you can't grow them here. Watch me.
Yeah.
And so, Bitter Lakes Farms is really a whole story of hold my beer. And that's why I love this. This is the next. You can't do that kind of thing out there. I'm sure you had people telling you this.
Oh, yes.
Hold my beer. And so that's what I love about this. So come out, support it. Come out every Saturday. Make a point Saturday. Start this Saturday. Come do a little shopping. Come see what's going on out there. Come get your hands dirty.
Absolutely.
Come in there and be a part of it.
Bring your ideas.
Exactly. Share your and I want to hear everyone, young people, old heads, everybody. All of us come out there and let's see what we can do. And you know, I imagine there's some people, some farmers and ranchers, and they come, let's check out this adobe brick thing. It's like, we used to do some similar kind of work here. And next you know what, we do this, but you know what, to get this problem, you all need to do this. And then that's how these things happen. And I know, you know, there's some people that got generations that have been working this dirt and doing this stuff, and they got a few tricks up their sleeves too.
But my main mentor, and he probably never knew it. I was looking at how to do this, and I found this guy with a piece of straw sticking out his mouth, and I was asking him all these questions. Finally, he said, "Some guys do it this way, and some guys do it that way.
Yeah,
it just depends on what works for you."
You know what? And that's half the battle. Like I know, like especially in cooking, you talk with like certain chefs, and they'll tell you and all three of them will tell you something different, but it's all delicious and all. And yeah, it's there's the way, and then it's your way.
Right.
And whatever works for you is
and
what
you need to take that advice, and you need to seek the information. But at the end, it's boots on the ground.
Sure. Well, and this is kind of where I also think, and this is what, again, the things you find at places like Bitter Lakes here is where you get, because not all of us take in information, learn information the same way. Some people, you can hand them a book, they'll read it cover to cover and say, yep, I got it. Not all of us work that way. Most of us, no, I need to get my hands dirty. You got to physically show me this thing, or you got to, or at least give me a conceptual thing. Everyone processing. And so you learn that here. I think you learn, and then you come across different, and this kind of gets back to find the way it works for you. It's, if your brain doesn't track that way, then this is going to be very hard for you. That's why some of us are great at music, and some of us can't put two notes together to save our life.
And those differences are good. If we were all AI robot, I just, and I'm not against it, but I think that the community stuff that we've talked about is, for me, the key, because that interaction with people, learning to listen, being a good listener, and being and having my opinion heard.
Absolutely.
It brings about a certain amount of confidence, but it also brings out those new ideas that maybe there is a better way to.
Absolutely, and that's where this is what that it fosters that. We want to foster creativity, want to foster ideas. It is no idea is a bad idea. If we, let's talk about it and shake it out, and let's see, okay, it may not be a plausible idea, but it may not be a bad idea. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out, and let's see, or maybe it evolves the next thing. Okay, we can't do this, but we could do this, and that's why you have the conversations. So when the one person does say the thing, you're like, hold on a second. Let's just play with it a minute.
and we have time. But the time's our most precious thing too.
Absolutely.
So now or never.
Well, and that's why we say come out Saturdays, come out and do. Let's don't wait. We need to check that out. Come out this weekend. Like I said, rain, sleet, or snow. It won't be any snow this weekend, but maybe a little rain.
A good example of that is everybody has an old chair in there, and they had a chair rehabilitation workshop. And some of the artwork that came out of these things, they're taking off these old cushions, putting new stuff in, painting them, and putting a few screws in it, tightening things up.
I love repurposing stuff. I wish I had that vision, but I don't. Like, some people can literally look at a pile of junk and I can make a whatever out of that, and they do it. I don't have that ability.
Well, come on out. when you might find something to do.
Might trip over something here. But give folks the address and everything to a website so they can kind of, when at their leisure in their underpants, go check you out.
Yeah, well, if you Google Bitter Lakes Farm Co., it'll come up. It has the different events, and then our address is 353 North Red Bridge Road,
It's out in the
Roswell.
sticks.
4 miles east of town.
They don't put farms in the city. Just telling you.
And, yeah, you can email me at 353adobe@gmail.com.
Good deal. And then, like I said, I know if you're a Facebook user, just like Bitter Lakes Farms.
Same thing.
Yeah, make sure you put the S's on Bitter Lakes. If you get one lake, it's the refuge. Which is a great place too. Go there. It's really cool. But put the S for the farms.
That's right.
That's my biggest, because I'm so used to don't say big, because it's Bottomless Lakes, Bitter Lake, and then now Bitter Lakes Farms. I'm like, oh, this is going to mess my tongue up. But come check it out. Come out. What time do you get started out on Saturdays? What times things open up? And
if people are there at noon, if they need to come out early, we're setting up and we're there.
It's a farm. There's always something going on at the farm, pretty much.
We're very fluid.
Yeah. When the day breaks, usually the work starts. So no farm sleep until 10. Just saying. But come check it out. Come see what it's about. Come. This is what the great thing is. This is people trying to and look, we've got problems, homeless, crime thing. These are how we solve this stuff. One thing, and believe it or not, you want to deal with the crime issues, you want to deal with the homeless issues. This is how we solve that stuff. It's getting in the dirt, doing these things, and create. It's not a meeting in a government building somewhere that's going to solve these things.
No,
Sorry,
no.
That's just the honest truth. Y'all can wait on that. It's going to take people rolling up their sleeves and getting the job done.
Those meetings are good for defining the problem.
Yeah.
Interaction, solving, getting
Absolutely.
the solution.
Oh yeah, we got lots of people point out problems. That's easy. We can start a meeting up real quick on that. Let's.
Yes.
Hence Facebook. But very good. Is there any information? Anything that Shirley looks like a few things?
Yes. I just want to, highlight our 2 workshops that are taking place on the 14th of June.
Okay.
One in the morning with Geneva and her Many Hands.
Yes, great organization we've had many times on the show here.
So that will be taking place in the morning. We can take up to 20 to 30 people at a time.
Excellent.
In rotation. And then in the evening, we are doing a poet tea. And we have Helen Walters and her book that she's just published on Dead Friends in New Mexico. So we're very honored to have her out.
Okay.
You can sign up online.
Okay. I'm going to take a stab. There's going to be tea with this one.
Absolutely.
Like some poetry in the tea. Because I was like,
Hey, you got it.
It's a tea party.
Right. I was going to say, I need the tea. Spill it, please. But yes, please get involved with these things. And like I said, it's, artists, craftspeople, artisans, none of these skills want to learn these skills. All the above. Come on out. Let's just come if you
philosophers.
Yeah, people share your life experiences and
absolutely.
And if you're having issues, needing help and things, come be a part of these things. And with Many Hands, with all the organizations, Wings for Life, this is what their focus is. These are organizations that are trying to help people better their lives in some way, shape, or form, whether it's physically doing things or whether it's navigating the system to get the benefits they need to do that, or all the above. That's what these organizations do to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So reach out. And Wings for Life too is another. I'm sure you guys are always looking for more volunteers and people to get involved. So if there's people that want to make a difference and have some time on their hands, I highly recommend you come out this Saturday, ask around,
Yes.
and Shirley or any of the folks there will be happy to kind of give you a little bit more information about that. But they're always looking for more volunteers and great people to spend, whether it's whatever free time you have to work with these families and work with others in need. And I'm going to say it one more time because I said another thing I say 100 times on this show is we got to, this is just in proper here, 50,000 people, whatever that number is. If all of us just picked the one thing and got involved with it, I don't care if it's youth sports or art or homeless, or pick your one charity, your passion area, whatever it is, and get involved with it. If we all did that, I know all of our civic organizations and our nonprofits would not have an issue with volunteers and things like that. And you'd be amazed at how many resources and things could get done and how many mountains we could move if everyone just picked their passion. I mean, some of us are idiots and there are like 7 of them. Don't have to be in 7 of them. Just pick one and follow it and do that. And that's kind of like what you guys are doing. I mean, yes, yours is broad, but at the end of the day, you're like, no, we're going to be this collective and be the mix and bowl to see what we can create out of this thing.
Yes.
Good deal. Give out the website and the phone number or something if someone, because I know some people don't want to mess with the internet.
The website is just Bitter Lakes Farm Co.
Yes.
And the address again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 353 North Red Bridge Road.
Very good. And then, of course, Facebook. Look for Bitter Lakes Farms as well. Shoot a message on Facebook there. And if you have any questions or anything or if you like, how much are the nuts? We can get that to you, too. But come out this Saturday. Come, like I said, there's going to be, some shopping opportunities, but also some opportunities to learn here, too. I know Father's Day's right around the corner. I mean, I don't know about all the jewelry, but there's some jewelry Dad might like, some good stuff. So, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
And anytime, and please keep us up to date as things go on, and we can tell the public more and more stuff. Yeah, go for it.
I just want to promote the Wings for Life. This is a first for us.
Okay.
Doing workshops during the vacation period. So every Wednesday for the month of June at 9:30 a.m., we have located some amazing leaders within the community to come and inspire our children. Yesterday we had Reagan Hardy, the executive director of the foundation.
Oh, okay.
She's in transition. So it's really good to have young people to inspire young people.
Seeing that giving them a beacon, a place to aspire to. Yeah, I mean that's, I'm telling you, and I just know from like in the sports world, like when like the high school football and basketball players go to the middle school to meet, that they're like rock stars in there, and this is kind of that vibe there a little bit too. So please again, and then of course Wings for Life. You can type that in, and basically Google search it, pops right up if you want to get more involved through there. But I got a feeling if you just hang out with the Bitter Lakes website, you'll get all your wings.
You'll get your information.
We'll get all your wings that you need for that.
Find your passion.
Find your passion.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much. And yes, please come back anytime we have updates, anything we need to get on the radar, people let us know, and we'll make that happen.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, and thank you for what you guys are doing. This is the kind of stuff we need. You want to make a community great? Right here. Bitter Lakes. Do it. That's the kind of things we need to do. So thank you guys
so much.
All right, it is 7:52. Let's pause for the news of the local variety Kim Commandos and some SRN business update. Don't go away.
With your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A murder trial is now underway for the man accused of a shooting at the Artesia Public Safety Building. A fight led to the killing of 42-year-old Mark Rommel. 24-year-old Acadio Lucero is on trial for the man's killing at the Eddy County Courthouse in Carlsbad. If convicted, Lucero could face life in prison. Prosecutors say the ordeal began when Lucero and his girlfriend went to the public safety building in Artesia to pick up the woman's child from Rommel, her ex-boyfriend, and the child's father. But the trio began arguing, and Lucero is accused of pulling a gun and shooting Rommel. Lucero was then shot and wounded by the responding police. It's bad news for Artesia General Hospital. For the first time since 1979, voters have rejected a mill levy increase to fund operations of AGH. The unofficial results from the Eddy County Clerk's office show the vote was 638 against and 605 for. The election was held by mail beginning May 6th. AGH claimed a vote for the mill levy would not have raised taxes, but kept in place the $2.70 per $1,000 of assessed property value. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
You're at the store, and the cashier says, "Would you like your receipt emailed?" You think, sure, why not? But here's what really happens when you say yes. You just gave the store another way to track you. I'm Kim Commando for Home Title Lock. Go to HomeTitleLock.com and use promo code KIM to receive a free 14-day trial of their $1 million triple lock protection when you sign up. Your email gets linked to everything you bought there and everywhere else. Stores like Walgreens, CVS, and Kohl's use that info to build detailed customer profiles. Walgreens logs your purchases through its loyalty program and uses them to push health-related offers. CBS shares your shopping behavior with its ad tech partners, according to Consumer Reports. Bed Bath & Beyond has used digital receipts to monitor what people browse and buy in store. This kind of tracking isn't illegal, and it's buried deep in privacy policies most of us never read. It is a trade-off. Start your day with my free newsletter so you'll always be tech ahead. Sign up right now at getkim.com. Title theft is a growing real estate scam targeting the $32 trillion in American homeowners' equity. Criminals forge your signature on one document, use a fake notary stamp, pay a small fee, and file with your county. Then, your home's title and its equity are in the hands of a criminal. So when is the last time you checked your home title? If you're like me, the answer is never. And that's exactly what scammers are counting on. Use my promo code KIM at HomeTitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report to find out if your title is still in your name. When you sign up, you'll also receive a free 14-day trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's immediate 24/7 monitoring of your property, urgent alerts if there are any changes, and if fraud should happen, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix the fraud and restore your title at no additional cost. Your satisfaction is guaranteed, and you can cancel anytime. Go to HomeTitleLock.com and use promo code KIM for the protection you deserve.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Wall Street's big recent rally lost some momentum on Wednesday. The S&P 500 finished the day virtually unchanged and remained 2.8% below its all-time high. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 91 points, or 0.2%, and the Nasdaq Composite added 0.3%. Elon Musk is continuing his attacks on President Donald Trump's signature bill on Wednesday with a barrage of posts on X, slamming the mega bill, saying in one that no one should be able to stomach it. The Federal Reserve said Wells Fargo is no longer subject to harsh restraints the Fed placed on the bank in 2018 for having a toxic sales and banking culture. Wells Fargo used to have a corporate culture where it placed unreasonable sales goals on its branch employees. Ford is recalling nearly 500,000 older Explorer models because a part of the door trim can detach while driving and cause a dangerous road hazard. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at Smokey's Country Market in Capitan and all Farmers Country Markets.
Let the summer fun begin. The Carlsbad Water Park is now open for summer at 708 Park Drive in Carlsbad. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. all summer long. Bring the family and enjoy 5 water slides, a lazy river, pool area, zero entry children's play area, covered and poolside lounge chairs, and free Wi-Fi. All for only $5 a day per person. Guests under 4 and 62 or older are free. So let the summer fun begin. Log on to DestinationCarlsbad.com for more information. Ad paid for by the City of Carlsbad Lodgers Tax.
Before Jesus went back to heaven, he told his apostles to go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. Notice that he said preach to all creation. After Jesus went back to heaven, the apostles began teaching and preaching the good news of Christ. In their first recorded sermon, they told the story of Jesus and how he came to seek and save the lost. At the end of the sermon, the people asked what they needed to do in response. Peter's answer was, repent and be baptized. There were people from all over the known world that heard that sermon. Christ didn't come to save just a few. He came to save all. He offers his grace and forgiveness to all who are willing to accept it. He loves us all and wants all of us to come to him. No matter where you find yourself, Jesus loves you and wants you to come to him. You need help finding the way? Well, come and see us. We want to help you on your journey.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
At
Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Citing a threat to national security, President Trump slamming the door on citizens of a dozen countries who will be barred from entering the U.S.
President Trump said this proclamation will go into effect on Monday. So if you do not already have a visa, if you do not already have a refugee status, you will be restricted from entering the country. In the first time he did this in 2017, he was bogged down in the American court system, facing multiple challenges in different courts across America, and then it had to be amended multiple times before it was eventually held up by the Supreme Court.
The BBC's Jay Kwan, in Mr. Trump's words, we cannot have open migration from any country where we cannot safely and reliably vet and screen those who seek to enter the United States. Chinese state media reporting on a phone call today between President Trump and Chinese President Xi. Unemployment applications hit an 8-month high last week. 247,000 Americans filed for benefits, according to the Labor Department. On Friday, the government releases a jobs report for May. It has been a wild and deadly week of weather across some parts of the country.
One man has died in Dallas after his vehicle became stuck in high water during heavy rain and severe weather. A tornado touched down in the Kansas City area, and firefighters made about 70 water rescues around Wichita, Kansas. With more storms in the forecast, officials warn that the soil in the area is saturated, and even an inch or two of rainfall could lead to localized flooding. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
The Egyptian national charged in Sunday's horrific anti-Semitic attack in Boulder, Colorado, due in state court today, facing a series of state charges. On Wall Street, the Dow down 186 points, so the NASDAQ is off 61. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Group temporarily pausing food delivery at several of its distribution sites in Gaza. That came after dozens of Palestinians were reportedly killed in a series of shootings near those sites earlier this week. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation says it's been in discussions with the Israeli military on better guiding foot traffic near the distribution sites and enhancing security procedures around those sites. The 36th anniversary of the bloody crackdown that ended pro-democracy protests in China passed like any other weekday for most Chinese, and that's exactly how the ruling Communist Party wants it. Security was tight yesterday around Beijing's Tiananmen Square, where weeks of student-led demonstrations shook the party in 1989. Hundreds and possibly thousands of people were killed in a June 4th crackdown. The Communist Party bans any public commemoration of the event. News and analysis, townhall.com. Well, there's a word of caution about those looking for love in all the wrong places in cyberspace.
Dating apps are being linked to reports of Americans being lured to Mexico and kidnapped. Authorities at the U.S. consulate in Guadalajara issued an alert about recent incidents in Puerto Vallarta and elsewhere. Officials did not name any specific dating apps, but they have warned users to be careful and only meet in public places. Authorities also encourage travelers to be aware of the U.S. State Department's travel advisories for Mexico. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Federal authorities have arrested a Washington man who they say provided chemicals to make explosives that were used to bomb a California fertility clinic last month. 32-year-old Daniel Park was arrested in New York upon his extradition from Poland. He allegedly sent more than 250 pounds of ammonium nitrate to the bomber who died in the explosion. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2, the deuce, of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yes.
Sure happy it's Thursday.
Sure happy it's Thursday. One day closer to vacay.
Yes. Yeah.
Got one day away, technically.
Yeah. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've got some family coming in just to stay the night.
Okay.
Because there's actually a wedding. A friend. So Kim's stepmom, her friend, daughter's getting married in Ruidoso.
Okay.
This weekend. I know that's
a lot of.
Yeah.
So it's a long path to follow.
So she's going to ride down with her friend and then get dropped off at our house.
Okay.
Spend the night with us, and then Kim is going to take her to Ruidoso Saturday for the wedding's actually Sunday. She has to help get everybody ready. And, everyone's got to foot around and get food ready and the dresses and
Nobody can see each other. All that
all
fun
that
stuff.
They got to do all that rigmarole Saturday, and then so we'll do that. Get that, and then Monday morning we'll hit the road and then, be in Durango by the end of the day there.
Heading towards the train. Very cool.
Yeah, I think we'll actually get on the train Wednesday.
Okay.
Tuesday, our plan is to go to the Mesa Verde cliff dwellings and all that stuff.
Nice.
Go see all that.
Do a little sightseeing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and then Thursday we'll head out to Four Corners, and then we'll probably pop down to Albuquerque and stay the night with her folks and stuff, and then kind of head back maybe Friday-ish back into town.
I haven't been up to the Four Corners in at least a couple of decades.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how it's been built up just since then, like commercially, because I know it's a national monument, so it's obviously reserved land, but there's just nothing around that one monument for so many miles.
I got a feeling it's still that way because I think most of that area around it is reservation land. Yeah, so that's probably still pretty.
Well, it's
pretty
reservation
remote
land. I expect at least a casino.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at the map, and I think most of that whole area
just desert.
But between I think the Utes and Apache, maybe don't quote me on that. But I think there's like two different nations that kind of have land in that. Around that Four Corners, some in Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, right there.
Yeah,
so.
they share the space.
Yeah, I know, like just west of like Durango and all that. I believe that's Ute Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you say it? Ute?
The Ute,
the Ute Nation. I know they have a big cultural center there. I'm reading up on things to do while I'm there, and so I was reading all this stuff about it.
Very cool.
This is pretty interesting. I might go check out.
So kind of a return to nature. So
a little bit on that part, yeah. Durango, like from everything I've heard, everyone says the railroad trip's very scenic and everything. I'm told as soon as they get off the train to book it to this pizza place because it's got really good pizza, but everyone bum rushes it, so you got to get there like early.
Right. That makes sense. So. Well, it'll be fun. It'll be a nice little break.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be nice to kind of
get away from it all for a little while.
You know, and technically, this will be my first real road trip with the Jeep.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, because
Ruidoso's.
I've taken to Ruidoso. That's
a day trip, not a road trip.
Yeah, this will be the first taking her to the real highway.
Yeah,
and Albuquerque. I've taken her to Albuquerque back. I say her like it's
her taking her up there, breaking her in. Switching topics real quickly. Something interesting that Jocelyn mentioned last hour regarding the Job Corps situation.
Yeah, so we were as we were kind of started the show talking about it kind of went public yesterday about Job Corps closing its doors and across the country, not just here in New Mexico.
Yeah, 40. I believe they said 40,000.
I think there's three in New Mexico, Roswell, Albuquerque.
There's two.
Two, okay. Well, I thought they said four. Farmington, okay.
She's 4.
Oops, wrong mic. I knew there was more than
Farmington.
There's one in Farmington.
Yeah, I knew there was more than 2, but I was like, yeah. Okay.
So I just wanted to give an update. So Monday, we had heard about this last week. You know, I was kind of trying to put it out there on the Food Not Bomb.
Yeah, I was seeing the social media rumblings last week.
Trying to get it out there. So Sunday night, Christina Arnold, our city councilor, put me in a message text with Dan Jennings, Geneva, all of the nonprofit.
100% Chaves County
all
and
that
many
stuff.
hands that
said,
section,
let's get together, figure it out. So we met on Monday at Stellar and basically tried to figure out a solution. 6 people came together, and so we are going to be able to house 2 females and 2 males in the storehouse.
Okay.
Putting the storehouse at 100% capacity.
Okay.
So we are able to house 4 from Job Corps. We are still kind of holding out for the other. There's 9 to 12 kids that will be let out.
Okay.
Basically.
And so that's what we're trying to cover now is 9 to 12. We've got all but these 9 to 12 covered. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, because some have families they can return home to and stuff, but these are the ones that don't have.
They're
resources.
basically they close the door and they're
so
homeless.
Job Corps is offering bus tickets for them to go to if they did come from somewhere else.
Kind of like jail. Don't they do that for jail? They give you a bus ticket.
So that was kind of the only thing that they offered. But so these are the ones that are kind of just left.
Okay, so we're looking for alternatives.
Yes.
Places of any and again. All options are on the table right now.
Yeah.
So let's see what we're talking about. Like you said, we're and don't think we're not that you guys aren't stop looking for this. But if people are have options, solutions, can offer a possible idea here, speak now.
Yes, we put feelers out yesterday. Like I said, we're able to house 4 of them right now in the storehouse.
Do we know the age groups of this 9 to 12?
Yes.
Because it could be from 16 to 24 or something
right now,
like that, or 18 to 24?
The students we are trying to house are between 19 and 21.
Okay. So they're kids.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of people are considering opening their homes up for to welcome in the invaders as they're,
Absolutely.
Maybe consider, instead of doing bringing the invaders in, maybe one of these kids, or
if you can do both.
Or both.
When we were talking to New Mexico Youth Challenge, I think they said that they can take a couple kids.
Okay.
We're looking at the dorms at the college.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll have a couple spaces.
Well,
so
I think does Youth Challenge and Job Corps had different.
It's kind of coinciding, I think, but there's not going to be any requirements for them to go because there's just a transitioning into housing.
They basically, due to the circumstances, if you don't
pass
quite
through
fit the requirements for Youth Challenge.
Yes.
Because you're technically not a youth anymore.
But the good thing about us putting these 4 kids into the storehouse is we are going to have them volunteer with Food Not Bombs or anything that needs to be done.
And that's the thing is they need an address. In essence, they're homeless now. And so they've got the problems with homeless people. And the first problem is there's no place for people to get a hold of them, to get in touch with them, to have correspondence.
Right.
So for them to get any benefits, to get any job, to get any to get to the next level, they got to have an address. They have some place they can show them that they live somewhere.
And the reason that I had put it out there is because by tomorrow it's done. They are locking the gates, and they have to be
Well, they had originally said June 30th, but that's for the closure of the facilities, and that's to get all the employees out and
basically
clear out
to basically shutter the doors and
but
call it good.
Kids have to be. We're going to be in the process of moving them out tomorrow. So tomorrow we will be at Job Corps.
Gee whiz, curious. The kids that are we're still looking for places for. Do they don't have any family? Are they even from New Mexico? Or
Some aren't from New Mexico. Some are kind of in a sticky situation where they were kind of brought here and they were already in a shelter in another
situation.
place.
They can't go back to whatever reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the reason. And a lot of these kids don't want to leave. They've kind of grown to Roswell. And they don't want to leave Roswell. So it's kind of like, why we have to send them back with they don't know anybody. It was a sticky situation when they got here. So
I'd even put the call. Look, is there any churches out here? Anybody listening that maybe is there any churches that can maybe offer up some ideas or some help or some aid here? Because the real sad part is these kids will just become part of the statistics without that. They're going to be out on the streets, and we all know what happens. If they're not now, drugs, whatever, the lifestyle will catch up with them,
and that's what we're trying to prevent by at least trying to get a couple of these kids into the storehouse, and trying to still keep on with some skills, some kind of monitoring, because a lot of these kids weren't ready to go into society.
Yeah, these are, and this is in Job Corps, and this is what the great work that they did is kids, the kids that really don't learn traditionally, like in school, like that just wasn't. Job Corps basically taught them skills and things in a way they understood it, and I imagine some of these kids were halfway to being carpenters
and a lot of them
chefs or some of the
were one test away from graduating.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with Job Corps, they're not going to let them carry on with that, so they have to start over. So it's a pretty sad situation, but the 6 of us came together, these nonprofits.
This is something. This is at least, and so. Please, I'm going to take a stab. If someone can get, someone can offer some things. Food Not Bombs on Facebook will definitely talk to you. Many Hands, is it Many Hands Roswell, I believe?
Yeah, Many Hands Roswell. Dan Jennings with 100% Travis County. He's been the main guy that's kind of coordinated with the counselor. There's a counselor at Job Corps that's been working with us to try to get these kids somewhere. So
reach out to any of these 3 entities and we'll definitely get you in touch with the people you need to, and let's see what we can do from here. But unfortunately, time is not on our side here. These kids will be turned loose in days. Tomorrow, hours, actually. Yeah. So we need to get something in the meantime.
And if anybody wants to...
I mean, even if it's like, hey, let's get a hotel room to put them in for at least a couple nights, we figure something else out.
These kids will need help tomorrow. Me and Geneva and Dan are trying to get out there tomorrow afternoon to just try to move these kids out. And...
Can we whip up some Adobe brick houses?
Yeah. Please, Kirk. Thank you, Mike.
Absolutely. But thank you, Jocelyn, for putting that out. And tell everyone at 100% all of them. That's awesome. Thank you for doing this. But yeah, it's kind of it hit fast, and it's kind of it's one of those things that no one likes this, and this isn't about politics, everyone we can talk about whether it open, close, have those debates. I don't care. What I care about is right now we got some kids that they need help right now, and it don't matter about D's, R's, any of that nonsense. Let's help out. We do have Rick Lamb with Roswell Boys and Girls Club is going to join us this hour, give us an update. Matter of fact, I know they're helping out with summer lunches and things like that, so we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll also talk about some of the upcoming events and things, and obviously, your children could benefit greatly from Boys and Girls Club. So we'll talk all about that with Rick here this hour. Also, want to put on your radar a couple things here. Church on the Move. They're doing their annual Veterans Dinner and, of course, fireworks and drone show. It's coming up June 21st. They're doing it a little bit different this year. It's all going to be happening at Cielo Grande Park. Everything, the Veterans Dinner, the fireworks and drone show, all of that will be happening at Cielo Grande Park on June 21st, Saturday. Now, everything will kick off at 5 p.m. Out at Cielo Grande. They're going to be grilling up hamburgers, and the first 3,000 people, open to everyone, and usually that's a lot of burgers, folks. We'll get free hamburgers there, and then they're going to start doing that at 5 p.m. They're going to be doing a special Veterans Day steak dinner from 6 to 8 p.m. Their traditional steak dinner they do for veterans. They're going to be doing that out there as well. The special steak dinner to honor the veterans. What you need to do is bring your DD-214 or military ID, proof of your veteran status, and then you and up to 3 immediate household members can have a special dinner, steak dinner. They're going to have an air-conditioned tent set up just for the veterans dinner out there at Cielo Grande. So that'll be from 6 to 8. But come on out beginning at 5 for free burgers for everybody. Like I said, the first 3,000 people, which if I remember last year, there was plenty of food, but get there early if you get hungry. Again, it's all going to be Saturday, June 21st at Cielo Grande Park. Then, of course, beginning at sundown will be Constructables and Church on the Move's special fireworks and drone show. If you've never missed or never had a chance to see one of these, they're amazing. It's really cool. They've done the drones and fireworks the last couple of years now, and it is the best of both worlds. Because I as a kid growing up, fireworks and all that, and you love that. But with the technology of the drones and some of the things they can do with that, it's pretty cool. So they kind of bring you the best of both worlds, and that'll all start about sundown on June 21st. We will have the music for it and all that here on 106.5. The music that choreographs with the show. However, you need to be out there to see it, especially like you may live in the area and you can see some of the fireworks, but you're going to miss the whole drone and all because some of it's up in the sky, some of it's kind of down low, and you really need to be at the park to see it. And of course, the music kind of vibes and jives with all that. So we'll have that for you. But mark June 21st on your calendars. Church on the Move's big fireworks, drone, and veteran celebration. Beginning at 5 p.m. for the free hamburgers, Veterans Dinner 6 to 8, and then about sunset will be the actual firework and drone show. All right, it is 8:21. Before we bring Rick in and all that, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. We're headed for the low and mid-90s. Mix of sun and clouds, but we do have a stationary front over our area. Maybe an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Watch out for some damaging wind and hail with a few of those storms. Overnight, some showers and thunderstorms possible. Will be in the upper 60s, and then maybe an afternoon shower on Friday, upper 90s to about 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 75 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 74%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 8 miles per hour. We are looking at a 30% chance at some showers and thunderstorms for this afternoon. They say mainly after 3 p.m., though I don't know. Seems a little cloudy out to me. Partly cloudy for today, a high of 94 expected, so we'll be warm. Not as warm as the weekend, but warm nonetheless. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear with an overnight low of 64 degrees. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. For Friday, we are looking at a 20% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Sunny and hot otherwise. 98 are expected high tomorrow with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, skies will be clear. Overnight low of 65 degrees. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, going to be another scorcher. Sunny. Highs of 98 expected. Once again, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday ain't any better. Sunny, 99 for a high. And then Monday, we'll see a dip in the temps. Actually, rain chances enter Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week, around the 20 to 30% range. But low 90s for Monday, and then we're in the mid to upper 80s for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. All right, it is 8:23. Let's take a 3-minute break, and then we will talk Roswell Boys and Girls Club on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Do you want to improve the appearance of your smile or increase your self-esteem and confidence? Many people have already chosen to update their smile with veneers. Here at Carabelli Dental in Roswell, we work with our patients to understand their smile goals. With veneer treatment, we can eliminate gaps between teeth, solve the problems of stained teeth, and even perfect uneven or misshaped teeth. You owe it to yourself to have the smile you know is possible. Call us now.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
This is a nasty little termite. It loves nothing better than to eat your house, your subfloors, your walls, around your windows, and then they swarm around taunting you.
We're eating your house. We're eating your house.
You'd like to kill them, wouldn't you? But you don't want trenches dug around your home, and you don't want holes in your foundation. That's where Dow AgroSciences and the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System come to the rescue. The same system that protects the White House can help protect your house. An authorized operator strategically places Centricon stations around your house and then carefully monitors them for termites. If they're found, a professional inserts bait tube devices. The termites take the bait and they die.
I feel like I'm dying.
Kind of like that, only a lot more effective. In fact, Centricon is proven to eliminate the termite colony. Termites are gone with Centricon. No more colony, no more problem. Visit Centricon.com.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
Before Jesus went back to heaven, he told his apostles to go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. Notice that he said preach to all creation. After Jesus went back to heaven, the apostles began teaching and preaching the good news of Christ. In their first recorded sermon, they told the story of Jesus and how he came to seek and save the lost. At the end of the sermon, the people asked what they needed to do in response. Peter's answer was, repent and be baptized. There were people from all over the known world that heard that sermon. Christ didn't come to save just a few. He came to save all. He offers his grace and forgiveness to all who are willing to accept it. He loves us all and wants all of us to come to him. No matter where you find yourself, Jesus loves you and wants you to come to him. You need help finding the way? Well, come and see us. We want to help you on your journey.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is 27 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Rick Lamb back with us with Roswell Boys and Girls Club. Good morning, Rick. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, sir. How about yourself?
Doing great. It seems like things are just going and blowing with the Boys and Girls Club. Just I was kind of looking at the Facebook and like always activities with the summer programs and things, kids going on, and it's just a busy time with Boys and Girls Club right now.
Yeah, we're open 7:30 to 5:30. So it's a full day scenario. One of the great things is we're completely licensed now, and so that's a big thing. And
Sure.
For people who don't know really what that means is if you make 425% above poverty level, you're going to get to come for free, or your children are going to get to come for free.
Excellent.
We're taking first through 8th grade.
Awesome.
But the thing is that the state will cover everything up to I believe it's like 12 years old.
Okay.
And then after that, as long as we've got spots available, we're actually not charging 13 and up for middle school.
So if the hurdle for some folks was the finance side, that just fell pretty much, basically. So now you're and to be honest, finances should never be the problem. This is something that and I know you and your staff have all. If people come in and everything's from the Bennett, but the one hurdle is they can't pay the fee, then we'll figure something out.
Well, and that's the thing is, we've got even, our private pay. So, private pay, yes, that has gone up a little bit. But I mean, that's because ultimately at the end of the day, if you're private pay, it means that you can generally pay that.
Sure.
But that doesn't also mean that we're just going to say, oh, well, you're not going to get any help in any way, shape, or form.
Sure.
We still got scholarship programs that we do, so you can always fill out scholarship paperwork and go that route.
Well, and anytime you're raising a family, you're not swimming in money all the time.
Exactly.
Something happens, kid needs braces. You know what I mean? Life happens. And
Exactly.
then next thing you get hit with this $1,000 bill. That's everybody, you know? And sometimes you got to, and that's what you guys, but now that you guys have been kind of, Dominus Omis blessed, sanctioned here, made official, that now frees government funding to now matriculate in and things to cover costs for some of this.
Correct.
So that's the beauty of this, which means at the end of the day, for folks that who meet looks like a pretty easy standard to meet, that they can get a lot of this paid for.
Well, and for a family of 4, it's about $120,000, and you're still covered.
That's great.
So I mean, there's
and around here that's not,
so that's a pretty big chunk of wiggle room that people have, and we're really not asking a lot. We ask that your kids there 4 days a week.
Yeah.
During the summertime, we'd like to see them at least half a day. During the school year, till 5 p.m. We still got spots available in this for the summer. So if you're looking for a place for your kid to go,
absolutely,
come on by. Let's get the paperwork done.
And the part is, the great thing is what your kid is getting is an educational. It's wrapped in fun and games and all that. But what you're getting. Tell them, but they're kind of getting like summer school. Don't use that term. But what I mean is they're they're learning. They're and it all evolves based on age. Is the younger kids, that's obviously adults or more, but as they're getting into the teenagers and a little bit older, they're more involved in the planning and the creation of the activities and the events and the things that go on at the Boys and Girls Club. And so that's why it evolves to everyone. So if you've got younger kids that you're like, all right, we just got to keep them wrangled and keep them out of things, we got that covered. But when they're ready to experience life and do these things, Boys and Girls Club have lots of different windows they can look through to check out life and perhaps find their passion when they become adults.
Oh, yeah. During the summertime, we've got different field trips. I think they're going to the fire station here soon. They're going to the courthouse to learn some stuff there.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of different things going on. During the school year, we've got programs like Money Matters for the tweens so that they can learn how to manage money and what it looks like to have a bank account and those sorts of things.
And then they can teach you when they get home. And you don't need to spend $7 on a cup of coffee. But anyway, that's another story. Sorry, did I say that out loud? But yes.
But yeah, we got a ton of different things, ton of different programs. We help them with their homework. And that part right there, especially, it's big for me because it's not just helping a child with their homework.
Sure.
It's a child being able to go home and either having less homework to do or not having any homework at all. Well, what does that mean for a family? That means more family time.
Absolutely.
And that's a big thing that we don't always get when we're really, really busy. So all of these little things we're trying to constantly put together. And look, we know that some programs come across and, the kids think that they're a little boring, but we still work through them. And then we find some fun things to do along the way. Like,
sure,
we're always evolving and growing.
Well, and that's also life.
Yeah.
Not every single thing you do in life is a fun thing. And,
exactly.
And kids are learning that at these young levels. It's like, okay, to get to the thing you want to do, sometimes you got to do the thing you don't want to do.
Exactly. Trying to teach my 8-year-old that one is always a fun one.
It is. But they learn that in real life situations.
Exactly.
And that's something that I think it's a tool that sometimes parents just can't give all the time. It's always like, well, this is why you don't need it. Now they're like, no, this is why. See right here. This is what, instead of you trying to explain it to them later on, they can see it firsthand.
Exactly.
And they can relate to it. And
exactly.
Oh, now it makes sense. And they learn from that.
Yep.
And that's what, and this is, and what I also love about this is the social aspect of it. In a world where kids are 9 times out of 10 in their phones or on a gaming, or what I mean, there's their interaction is with someone via a screen.
Yeah.
Here they're in a room with other kids their age and other group, people just like them, and they got to talk to them and see them and interact with them and touch them. and that's a good thing.
Yes, it
to
is.
have these things going on, and your children get to be a part of that experience, the human side. That isn't behind a screen.
Yeah.
That is so important. And when we were kids, not so much. But nowadays, if left unchecked, you're going to have a socially awkward kid that can't navigate life if they're in a screen all the time. It's just the product of that. And this helps with that stuff.
Yeah.
This kind of lets them. And it's defined interest. Like you guys, I mean, like you said, you're doing so many things, and they go, and it's really, it gives a chance for these kids to find out what they're into.
Yeah.
If they don't know yet, or they may do a project or do a thing. Like I said, they go to the fire station first time in life. It's like, I never thought about it, but I kind of want to have a career in firefighting now, or something like that, or EMS or something along those lines. I see first responders and I see what they do. That's for me. Or maybe that's not. Maybe they go and they do one of the art things and said, man, I love this painting thing. And that's just going to be, maybe it's my career, maybe it's just my hobby, but whatever it is, I'm going to have it with me the rest of my life. And so that's what Boys and Girls Club can bring, and all at the same time. Now, you as a parent are like, I got a place to take my kid that, okay, now I got a moment of free time, or I can go work and do what I got to do and navigate life. And you can have the peace of mind knowing that your child is in a safe, structured environment that they are getting beneficial things when you can't be there with them.
Yeah. And, and I really want to point out the safety thing. Like, we really work hard to create policies and train the staff to really make safety a huge priority. So they're kids, we know things happen, but how do we circumvent these as much as humanly possible?
Absolutely.
Like, it's a constant thing. And then, something else to kind of put out there is, look, if let's say that you're home right now and you need a place to go, for lunch or something for your kids. We've got a free lunch program.
Yes.
You give us a phone call by 10 a.m., 10:30, somewhere around there, and just let us know, hey, I've got such and such amount of kids under 18 years old. We're going to make them a meal. You come on in, you sit down. They have a nice meal and stuff. And then in the afternoon, it's the same thing. Just give us a little, a jingle ahead of time and just say, hey, I'd like to have my kids come by at 3 o'clock and grab a snack. Not a problem.
Excellent.
We're going to set some stuff out.
And that really works well, especially with some of the new restrictions that they've brought down for the school summer meal programs, where basically there's windows from 8 to 10 in the morning, and then from 10 to noon, and then after about 1 or so, that's kind of locked down at that. And now the children have to be present. They have to. This is saying, okay, if you can't work in their windows, that doesn't, I get it. Life happens. You can't call Boys and Girls Club. Let's, we can set some up for a little later, or it works more in your time frame.
Yeah, we've got, our lunch is usually from 12 to 12:20 and stuff. Our snack is around 3:15 or so. But, if you let us know ahead of time, we can easily prepare for it and just make sure you've got a spot. Because, if lunch ends at a school at 12 o'clock, well, you're not going to be able to get anything.
Absolutely.
But you can, come on over, come in, sit down, and your kids can enjoy a nice meal.
Yeah, and it's free. And it's same rules like any child 18 and under. They don't, whether they're in Roswell or not from Roswell, does not matter.
Correct.
And bring and I'm going to take a stab. It's similar, like the parent doesn't have to be there, but the child does. And so basically, if one parent wants to, like you said, load up the van and bring them all down,
as long as there's an adult with them. Yes, that's perfectly fine.
So you don't have to be every kid's parent, but as long as there's a responsible adult with them.
Correct. Yeah,
doing that. But that way, and that way you can maybe work around schedules. So maybe a different parent each week. Each day is like, all right, well, I'll get them on Tuesdays. You can bring them on Wednesdays or whatever.
Exactly.
Get in touch with Boys and Girls Club and let's make those arrangements. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure there's no child in this area that if they can't get a sandwich during the day here, that they can't get a sandwich, and that's the whole point.
Oh yeah, yesterday they had Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes.
Nice.
It was delicious.
They're eating pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Matter of fact, check it out and then come back. Oh, they got better over here. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
But again, another resource here as things are a little bit different this year with the summer programs and things like that. And trust me, like I said, I talked with the food service and Healthy Kids folks. They're on your side on this one. They're not thrilled about these rules either. This is coming from state and federal regulations. that's beyond their control, and so they're trying to make lemonade out of lemons just like everybody else here. So and thanks to Boys and Girls Club, and I think there's a few other churches and things that are doing similar stuff. We'll fill the gap where it gets created because of some of these policy changes.
Exactly.
So, but again, don't forget, Boys and Girls Club is another resource for families here. Don't hesitate to reach out, and I would like to invite folks, if your social media, I think it's for under Chaves and Lincoln counties.
It's under Chaves and Lincoln counties.
Boys and Girls Club of Chaves and Lincoln counties on Facebook, and that's the official page. Everything that's going on, not only at the Roswell one, but the Ruidoso and the other places. But you can learn different events and things. I know, I'm not sure if this is the one here in Ruidoso, but they got a big, looks like a 80s gaming thing for August.
So what's happening is, so the Health Expo is coming up. Well, the Boys and Girls Club here in Roswell.
This is for the fun run.
This is for the fun run.
Oh,
we're doing a retro theme this year and everything.
Right, yes.
We want the big hair. We want the boom boxes. We want your leg warmers. We want all of it.
Now, please note, this year's Health Expo will be at the mall.
Correct.
This year. So the run will also be in a different location as well.
Correct.
Too. It'll be down at the mall.
Yeah, and we're gonna do laps around the mall basically, but we're working on getting speakers so that you've got retro music playing as you're running around.
So come in your 80s attire.
Exactly.
Go as goofy as you want. Go as hardcore. Now, just for your own comfort and safety, maybe pick costumes that do allow you to move. I mean, I get if you want to be Miss Pac-Man, but that seems like it might be a little bulky, and you are doing a fun run.
Well, they could walk. I'm totally fine with that.
Well, that Pac-Man, you might have to roll. So put a little thought in that you do have to move in said costume. So maybe, of course, I guess you want to turn yourself into a float. Like I just got a Star Wars image. If someone wants to do Jabba the Hutt and they're moving the Jabba the Hutt through the...
I think that sounds great. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. That's 80s. Not the 80s you're thinking of, but that's very 80s. Princess Leia and the thing, it was like 83.
Yeah.
But whatever your interpretation, because most of us think of the neon colors, and there was 10 years, there's a lot going. It wasn't all that in the 80s.
Well, see, and when we're talking retro, we're talking 70s, 80s, 90s here.
So you can kind of
you've got 30 years of time frame there that you could really mess around with.
So you could go disco.
Exactly.
You could, go even a little bit. Like I think you should go glam rock. Like dress up like the guys from Poison or Motley Crue, or Kiss. That might be a way to go.
Exactly.
Although the black leather might not be the best idea for August, but
it's a give and take.
A lot of foundation for sunscreen.
Yes.
But you can start signing up for that now and doing all that.
Yes, you can go to our Facebook page, and there's a link there to sign up and get tickets and everything. And for all of this that we've talked about today, you can go to our website. You can go to our Facebook page. If you literally go to Google and just type Boys and Girls Club near me,
and it'll come
it's going to come up right there. You can go to our website. It's going to talk about the food program. You're going to have a nice big pop-up right away that's going to talk about the food program.
So if you missed details we talked about here, you can kind of fill in your gaps right there at the website.
If you have questions about the summer program and those sorts of things, we've got a little area in the Roswell section for that. If you need applications, we've got those sorts of things on there as well.
Excellent.
We've got all of this paperwork, or a good chunk of it, on there. So definitely, use that. Or you can always call us to 575-550-5001. Get a hold of somebody up front, and we'll be able to answer questions you have as well.
Absolutely. And of course, there's nothing wrong with just popping into the front office there and asking questions. You guys are open daily, pretty much, or
we are
weekdays. Yeah,
we may not be in the front, every moment. So if you get there, banging on the door, we may not hear you if you're in their back. Give the club a call. Usually, somebody's going to hear that.
Sure.
And we'll come up and we'll get those questions answered.
Absolutely, and that way, of course, if you're, as a parent interested in, bringing your child in to do summer stuff, come and tour the facility, see what it's about, and see exactly what your kids will be getting into during the summer here, and of course. After school, I know we're right in the heart of summer, but after school programs and stuff, that's going to be kicking. Now's the time to kind of start planning and setting that up. I know over the years, you guys have really expanded your kind of reach on after school program. Is kind of started at one or two schools. Now you got multiple schools that you're able to pick up from.
Yeah, so we're going to start signups for after school July 1st.
Very good. So here in about 3 weeks or so.
Yes, because that way parents can get the paperwork taken care of and we can just be ready to go. Right now, the plan is we're still going to pick up from Pecos and Nancy Lopez. The great thing about those two schools is we make 2 trips because they're so close. So, I mean, we've got a good chunk of room for those. We're still looking at Valley View and Missouri and Washington.
Okay. By the way, if anybody's got some offering or solutions there, we'd love to listen to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and we only have so much room for van space, but that doesn't mean you can't bring your child to the club either.
Absolutely.
You know, if you've got, parents or grandparents or friends, they're more than welcome to bring them to the club. They've got a safe place to go. They get homework help. They've got a snack. They get all of these things.
You do the carpool thing like I was talking about with the food earlier. It's like, hey, you got the couple kids on the block there, maybe different parents, different family members each day. All right, Tuesdays you take them, Wednesdays I'll take them.
Exactly.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or pick them up, vice versa, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the Boys and Girls Club is a great opportunity during the summer and after school to really help especially in the world today where, where education is, and don't, I know we're 5 years removed from COVID, but in the education world, we're still dealing with COVID. And kids to this day are still dealing with the impacts of that. And things like Boys and Girls Club are the things that close that gap.
Yeah.
The things that were missed, the things that got altered because of that we don't get back. Boys and Girls Club is one of those things that kind of helps to offset that, to fill the cracks in the foundation that were created from COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's.
We're here to help.
Yep, exactly. So, Rick, is there anything I missed? Anything we wanted to cover?
I think we've covered a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, we kind of do that. But the point is, go to the website, go like the Facebook. I can't stress it. If you're a Facebook user, go right now, Boys and Girls Club of Chavez and Lincoln County. Put something in the search bar to that effect. It should pop right up. And matter of fact, if you just put Boys and Girls Club Roswell, it'll pop right up.
More than likely, yeah.
And click it, like and follow it. That way you can read more about the various programs we talked about here. Obviously, if you want to learn more about and get involved, there's all the links and information there. And also, if you want to sign up here for the fun run and everything, that's a great way to support Boys and Girls Club. That fundraising event supplies a lot of finances for a lot of the activities and things that these kids get to enjoy throughout the year. So by you coming out in your A-team outfits or whatever it is you're going to go with.
I'd like to see that.
I'm down. If y'all need ideas, I'll throw them out. I got 50 of them. I just hit like 4 rest of the thing here. Yeah, I lived the 80s. I know it all. Don't get me started on Max Headroom, folks. Or pet rocks, right? That would be a good one. If I see people with rocks on a leash, I'm going to salute you.
That would be amazing to see. They could carry their rock as they're running.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or walking like a dog. I'm fine with that.
Exactly.
Call it something cool like Stony or something. I don't know. Give it a good name. But anyway. But please, if you have any questions about Boys and Girls Club, don't hesitate to reach out, come by. And I should ask, what is it, elementary? What's the earliest a child can start benefiting from Boys and Girls Club?
Right now, if your child is going into first grade, we're good to go.
Gotcha.
So going into first grade, up to 8th grade.
Up to 8th grade there. Very good. So please reach out and like you said, if you're trying to figure out your fall plans here, beginning July 1, they're going to start the sign-ups and everything for after-school programs and getting your children registered. And again, if you need financial resources for them stuff, those things are available.
Yes.
Please don't hesitate to reach out. Now that, as we started the show here, that you guys have been accredited, it opens that door for that financing to now be available to people that are wanting to become part of the Boys and Girls Club.
Correct.
It's a huge financial gain there. So good deal. Rick's always appreciate the visit. And
thanks for having me.
Anytime, and anything else we can do to help out, don't hesitate to give us a holler.
Appreciate it, sir.
All right. Thank you. Man, this morning is flying by. It is already 8:48. Let's do this. Let's pause for news and your Red Apple report and weather as well, and we'll be back. Don't go away.
With your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. A murder trial is now underway for the man accused of a shooting at the Artesia Public Safety Building. A fight led to the killing of 42-year-old Mark Rommel. 24-year-old Acadio Lucero is on trial for the man's killing at the Eddy County Courthouse in Carlsbad. If convicted, Lucero could face life in prison. Prosecutors say the ordeal began when Lucero and his girlfriend went to the public safety building in Artesia to pick up the woman's child from Rommel, her ex-boyfriend, and the child's father. But the trio began arguing, and Lucero is accused of pulling a gun and shooting Rommel. Lucero was then shot and wounded by the responding police. It's bad news for Artesia General Hospital. For the first time since 1979, voters have rejected a mill levy increase to fund operations of AGH. The unofficial results from the Eddy County Clerk's office show the vote was 638 against and 605 for. The election was held by mail beginning May 6th. AGH claimed a vote for the mill levy would not have raised taxes, but kept in place the $2.70 per $1,000 of assessed property value. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. We're headed for the low and mid-90s. Mix of sun and clouds, but we do have a stationary front over our area. Maybe an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Watch out for some damaging wind and hail with a few of those storms. Overnight, some showers and thunderstorms possible. Will be in the upper 60s, and then maybe an afternoon shower on Friday, upper 90s to about 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Stocks will open after the Dow fell for the first time after it had risen the last 4 days. The S&P and NASDAQ were slightly higher. Stocks are coming off a solid stretch, though, with gains in tech stocks, allowing investors to look past worries about tariffs for the moment. But new hiring only rose by 37,000 new jobs last month, according to ADP payroll. Now, that could be a sign of slowing. ADP's number often varies from the more widely followed U.S. Labor Department number, and we will hear what that shows about hiring tomorrow. New numbers show the average 401k fund balance is $127,000. That's down 3% recently, but still higher year over year. Fidelity says on average, employees are putting 9% of their salary into 401ks, plus any match from their employer. In addition to new complaints about the tax and spending bill from Elon Musk, Republican Senator Ron Johnson says it's immoral to add to deficits for our children and grandchildren. NBC and Axios both say the White House has now told Musk they will not have him back as a part-time advisor. It seems there's some movement in the real estate market. Home sales are 18% higher than a year ago at this time. With business, I'm Joe Connolly.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. Donate now to toysfortots.org. Working year-round, delivering hope to children at Christmas time and beyond. In 2024, Toys for Tots provided over 30 million toys to nearly 13 million children in need. Donate now. Go to toysfortots.org. Since 1947, Toys for Tots has distributed 708 million toys to 314 million deserving children. Working year-round. Toys for Tots. Donate now. Go to toysfortots.org.
Hey Roswell, whatever you've got planned this week, cancel it, cause Roswell Ford is slashing prices during our biggest Memorial Day savings event ever. These are the final days to get massive discounts with employee pricing for all. At Roswell Ford, you pay what we pay on our huge inventory of new Fords. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. Upside down in your current car, truck, or SUV and one out early, Roswell Ford can help you get out of your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. So you pay what we pay today with employee pricing to all customers on new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Our aggressive lenders will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. With massive American-made savings, employee pricing for all, and more for your trade. We'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. Get on board at Roswell Ford. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinance to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Boot, scoot, and boogie your way to the Spencer Theater on June 14th to see Dunn and Brooks, the Brooks and Dunn tribute. This energetic tribute to the 90s country duo will have you dancing and singing along. Tickets start at $39. Available online at spencertheater.com or by calling the box office at 575-336-4800. We'll see you at the Spencer.
Before Jesus went back to heaven, he told his apostles to go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. Notice that he said preach to all creation. After Jesus went back to heaven, the apostles began teaching and preaching the good news of Christ. In their first recorded sermon, they told the story of Jesus and how he came to seek and save the lost. At the end of the sermon, the people asked what they needed to do in response. Peter's answer was, repent and be baptized. There were people from all over the known world that heard that sermon. Christ didn't come to save just a few. He came to save all. He offers his grace and forgiveness to all who are willing to accept it. He loves us all and wants all of us to come to him. No matter where you find yourself, Jesus loves you and wants you to come to him. You need help finding the way? Well, come and see us. We want to help you on your journey.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Hey, Mark.
Morning, Sam.
Having the house remodeled?
Nah, I got termites, and they're chewing the place up.
Welcome to the neighborhood. I've got them too.
Really?
Yeah, just had a termite treatment put in.
You did? I didn't see a lot of digging around your house.
That's because I went with the Centricon termite colony elimination system. It's a lot easier to install than what you're doing. They just place bait stations around the house, and then the termites share the bait with each other until the colony is gone. No digging, no chemical solution, just simple protection that's environmentally responsible.
Wow.
Yeah, I even got a green chemistry award from the EPA.
Centricon, huh? I'll be right back.
Hey, where you going?
Tell these guys to stop digging. I'm getting Centricon.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
Whether you're a homeowner, a landscaper, or a contractor, we all have reasons to dig. If you're planning to dig, this is just a friendly reminder that locating underground utilities is important. It's actually the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig. New Mexico Gas Company is one of the utilities that will come out free of charge to mark our underground lines up to the meter, so you'll know what's below. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
Check out some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select cans of Food Club veggies are 3 for $2, and jars of creamy or crunchy Food Club peanut butter are $1.88 each. In produce, 2-pound tubs of red ripe strawberries are $3.99, and juicy cantaloupe are 2 for $3. In the meat department, family packs of bone-in sirloin cut pork chops are $1.49 a pound, and whole fryers are $1.19 a pound. These are just some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
You waited, and now it's back. Rib Crib presents
Rib Fest.
We're talking unlimited, slow-smoked, righteous ribs, unlimited sides, and endless refills, just $19.99. Or go for the half rack with 2 sides for just $16.99. All day, every day. Choose from original, sweet and sticky, spicy Carolina, Tennessee Red, or Caribbean. And all your favorite sides, including sweet and smoky beans, seasoned fries, fried okra, and so much more. Rib Fest. Unlimited all-you-can-eat ribs all month long, all day, every day at Rib Crib on North Main in Roswell. Smoking the good stuff since 1992.
Oink. The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:57. Stay tuned next hour, about 9:15 or so. Crystal Noble with the Roswell Humane Society will join us, give us an update on pets that are looking for homes right now, and, of course, talk about any deals, sales, things they've got going on at the thrift store. Telling you, if you ain't shopping at the thrift store, just saying.
Who pays retail?
I
like a sucker.
You know, I get like certain things maybe behind, but if you're looking for like a microwave or
Keurig,
yeah, anything like that, go right to the thrift store. They probably have one that's practically brand new, ain't going to cost you $100+.
Yeah.
And there you go.
And it's more than likely, broken in. You don't have to you have all that weird unboxing and unpackaging and all
half
that.
of them are still in great shape.
Absolutely.
And they got all kinds books for kids. Never buy a brand new book for a kid. Go to the thrift store. You could get 50 of them for $2.
I figured out the key to feeling successful, what I do is I go to garage sales and I buy used activity books that have already had all the activities done in them. So I feel super accomplished. And I put that right there on the bookcase. And if somebody asks, say, right there, I do activities. Yeah, I write like a 5-year-old. So what? I do write my A's like that. Thank you very much.
And I'm going to eat some Piscetti.
I'll go to my Piscetti tray, thank you. Yeah, you really feel accomplished, though, when you have a full done activity book.
Yeah. No, I thought that was the college move. You buy the used books that's already got the highlighted parts highlighted.
Yeah, that's why they switch editions on you.
All right. Well, that's just so the professor can charge you another $100
See,
for that
this
book.
is the one that infuriates me. If I have to pay for my books as a, I don't know,
we got 20 seconds.
I put in a book. That's all I'm saying. Don't hand me loose leaf paper and call it a book.
Charge you $150 for it.
Nonsense.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Chinese President Xi is very tough and extremely hard to make a deal with. That's President Trump's assessment following a phone call this morning with his Chinese counterpart. Mr. Trump has ordered an investigation into whether there was a cover-up of President Biden of mind toward the end of his White House term.
President Trump said in a statement Wednesday that the probe will investigate whether Biden's aides attempted to deceive the public by hiding serious cognitive decline from the American people. The investigation will focus specifically on actions Biden signed using the auto pen, as those on the right levy accusations about Biden's ability to carry out his duties. Trump's order cites Biden's appointment of more than 200 judges to the federal bench, the issuance of thousands of acts of clemency, and the issuance of more than 1,000 presidential documents during his term. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Several rulings of note from the U.S. Supreme Court. It has blocked Mexico's $10 billion lawsuit alleging American gun makers have fueled the cartel violence south of the border. Also, in a case out of Ohio, the High Court is making it easier to claim reverse discrimination in employment. And the court is siding with Catholic Charities in a religious rights case over unemployment taxes. Having trouble breathing lately? If so, you're not alone.
There is smoke over a large portion of the eastern part of the country. As far west as the Dakotas, Minnesota, and then a lot of areas east of the Mississippi River, all the way from Alabama, Georgia, up into New England. So a large part of the country has some smoke in the sky.
The culprit, according to the National Weather Service's Mark Chenard, is the Canadian wildfires that continue to burn. Unemployment applications rose to 247,000 last week. That's an 8-month high. On Wall Street, the Dow trading 56 points higher. The Nasdaq is up 85. The S&P ahead 13. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Is partnering with Lithuania and Latvia, keeping an eye on Russia's shadow fleet of oil tankers doing an end run around Western war sanctions.
The busy waters of the Baltic Sea are regularly crisscrossed by aging, poorly maintained tankers transporting Russian oil to markets further south. Government officials in Estonia say they are increasingly concerned at how to choke off this trade, which is helping to fuel Russia's war in Ukraine. Last month, the UK government sanctioned up to 100 tankers belonging to Russia's so-called shadow fleet. But in the same month, when the Estonian Coast Guard tried to detain one of those sanctioned tankers, it found itself being buzzed by a Russian warplane, which then flew for up to a minute through NATO airspace.
The BBC's Frank Gardner. NATO defense ministers are set to approve plans to buy more weapons and military gear to better defend Europe, the Arctic, and the North Atlantic. News and analysis at townhall.com. Most people run from threatening weather and powerful storms, but not these people.
It's one of the nation's costliest but least appreciated weather dangers. Hail is rarely deadly, but it causes about $10 billion in damage each year in the U.S. To understand the weather phenomenon better, scientists from several universities are observing storms from the inside and seeing how the hail forms. The study is called Project Ice Chip. It's already collected and dissected hail the size of small cantaloupes. Keith Peters, Washington.
A former Republican congressman and vocal critic of President Trump says he wants to become governor of the president's adopted home state of Florida. And he is running as a Democrat. David Jolly made the announcement earlier today. Term-limited Republican Governor Ron DeSantis cannot run for re-election next year. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yes, welcome to it.
It is a Thursday. It is kind of overcast.
It's a little hot. You know what's funny? My daughter actually'd me.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
how did she hit you with that?
So I've talked about it on here before that she has a Gmail account now.
Okay.
And so my daughter's discovered technology from the early 2000s and
she got an AOL Instant Messenger.
Has been emailing myself, her mother, her Aunt Penny, and her Aunt Betsy, or basically her whole list.
Her circle of family.
Yeah, and she won't tell me that she'll do it half the time, and I'll just open my email casually and be like, oh, I had a message from 5 hours ago from Rhiannon. But I was telling her, I was like, I'm really excited about, getting to go do some swimming with her today. And I said, I'm really watching the weather. I'm, hoping against hope that things warm up today. And then I said, if it doesn't happen, then I'll make it up to you, honey. And she goes, I know, Dad, but there is an inside pool. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Crafty. Of course, when it's something she wants,
absolutely,
she will find every avenue to make
where
it
there's
happen.
a will, there is a way.
There are paths to flotation.
That's when a human puts something to their brain, they can do amazing things to achieve that goal.
I really wish she would do the same thing with other aspects of life.
Well, that's all of us.
but props to her for hitting me.
I wish I had that with my workout regime, but I'll put that same effort in getting a cheeseburger, but I will not to go get a perfect workout or something.
I think I have a perfect workout regime in that I have no workout regime.
It works out well for me.
It's perfect. You know what? I will say this. I've heard it said that every mammal has a certain number of heartbeats, has a set number.
And
it's the same number. And that's why bigger animals, their heart beats slower. Smaller animals who die a lot sooner, their heart beats a lot faster.
Okay.
And so my mindset is, why get your heart rate up? You're just burning away the good beats.
Live like a sloth.
That's right. Live life like a sloth. Look at a sloth. Go find a sloth and look at it. They're almost always smiling.
Yeah, they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
I held one.
That's right. You did.
I did hold one. They're cute. They kind of feel weird though. They kind of got this oily sheen on them. It's kind of gross. Like the whole day, I'm like,
well, the thing is, the sloth that you held had just come from a Diddy party,
right?
So it hadn't completely toweled off yet.
To be honest, that was the fastest sloth ever.
Yeah, he was somehow able to get away. That's how bad it was with Diddy. Sloth was able to run away. That thing's got the fear scared into him.
Like, I watched an episode of it. I have not watched it since. It was on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally this whole like news show going blow by blow over the first day or two of the Diddy trial. But it was like character reenactments, the whole deal. Like they couldn't have cameras in the courtroom.
Right.
So they literally re-dramatized the court scenes.
The graphic art.
No, literal people, actors. Like they had someone play Diddy, some lady play the witness, and they recreated it.
Really?
In this whole, and they're doing it, I guess. I don't know where it airs originally. I always see it on Hulu. I don't know if it's just a Hulu exclusive thing
Is it like
or
a parody show or
no. It's a serious news covering the Diddy trial.
Huh.
And they got the host looks familiar. I've seen her on other host shows as a kind of one of these news style shows.
Right.
And then they get a couple bloggers that are now kind of hyped up their deal. It's like called Diddy As It Happens or something like that, and it's on Hulu. I watched like one episode.
Diddy As It Happened.
Is that As It Happened?
I'm thinking,
there you go.
yeah. This is, let's see. Yeah, I watched Diddy on Trial As It Happened.
Yeah. But it's all reenactments of everything.
Personally, though,
it's weird. I watched it. I don't know why. I literally had 20 minutes, and I was like, I got to see what's going on here.
Right.
And I watched it.
I am intrigued. I've also, based on all of the courtroom sketch artistry that I've seen, I'm wondering why Diddy's confused uncle is on trial. Because this dude just looks like and I know a lot of people have pointed out because he's not in jail, he doesn't have access to his skincare regimen or his hair dye. So he looks like an old black man now instead of like he was.
Doesn't have the Hollywood up
crisp.
stuff. Yeah, all the product.
And his grays are coming out. But I want to hire the sketch artist that's working the Diddy trial.
It's kind of like one of the Menendez kids. He had the fake hair.
Yeah.
He couldn't keep it up in prison. He had to go bald.
But I want to hire that sketch artist to just do like a graphic novel.
Football stuff.
Just every single page, every single cell, the person looks entirely different.
I wonder if like courtroom artists have like a special class to draw a certain way.
I would,
because they all look kind of the same caricature-y. You know what I mean? It's a cartoony, but not full blown cartoon.
And it's done. Courtroom artistry is really to not even capture individual moments so much as to you're trying to evoke a feeling of what's happening right then out of one picture. And I take my hat off to those folks who are, courtroom sketch artists. It's not something like I don't think a Greg Birch could do because his art is so detailed and crisp. I don't think he would be able to debase himself to freehanding like that.
Right. Well, and I'm always curious, like, do they just like whip something together real quick and then go back later and fill in the colors and everything?
I think the colorization comes in later because from what I've seen with sketch artists, they're just
like, are they just trying to capture the moment and then like I'll go back later for the detail?
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder about that.
God, that's what I imagine.
And how often do they still do that? Like, because most courts have cameras in there now.
Well, yeah, but
I think when you get to like federal court level, that's where it all goes away.
There's a certain level of court that you're not allowed. Cameras aren't allowed inside, and that's.
So maybe they have a job in the federal courts, I guess. But a lot of the other ones have cameras and stuff in them, or a whole TV channel devoted.
I'm curious
watching these things.
How much it pays to be a courtroom sketch artist.
I imagine
they make varying amounts, with some earning as little as $33,000 annually.
Okay.
Some up to upwards of $72,000. It just, I guess, depends on how much you work.
Yeah. Well, but I would guess you're a government employee of some kind, right? Or is that freelance work?
I think it's freelance work.
I didn't know if that was like a job like the
Says salaries can vary based on state and city. I think you probably work for the court more than you work
I don't know if you work, or do you work for a paper or
like a
media
service
entity that providing the coverage?
Yeah, like a middleman that
Like
works
you work
for the
ABC or a newspaper or something, or are you like the court reporter, but you're the sketch artist?
Where's that series, like Taxi, but you're just the office that has all the court sketch artists. You send them out on cases.
Let's do an offshoot of Night Court. Like a Night Court spinoff.
Sketch Court.
Sketch Court. Anyway, sorry. It'd be another vessel for John LaRoquette.
Absolutely, and if nothing else, I think we all are shooting for a vessel for John LaRoquette.
Yeah,
that's all we're after in life.
I'm just going to throw another name out there.
Okay.
If you want to do the spinoff, keep LaRoquette on the sidelines, and I give you Robert Worrell. Remember him? Arliss?
Mm-hmm.
I think he would be a great sketch. Like, he's got that goofy personality,
right?
And talks more than he should. That could be your main guy.
I feel bad for Arliss.
I liked Arliss. That was a good show.
It was a fine show, but that show was on HBO right before HBO started making masterpieces.
Yeah, it was in the middle of all of that. Like,
yeah, it was like right before Sopranos.
It missed the first run of what was that first show that was very popular?
Well, Oz.
No, before that it was a comedy one, and it was like the very first HBO, and it was the guy and it was the wife, his ex-wife, and I can't remember. It was a little adult humor.
It was a sitcom?
It was.
I think
it was not a sitcom. It was a comedy.
Okay,
it was not a sitcom.
There was
it was
a show.
Scripted. It was like a set up like their shows, but
Right.
it was comedic in nature.
There was a show for like 2 seasons that people really forget about called Lucky Louie.
It was before all that.
Okay.
Like, this is the first one, and I remember the face. I have to look it up. But that
I'm
was
curious.
the first stage because I remember watching it and being, and then I think the next show begat the one where he's like a gigolo kind of thing or something. I can't remember, but and then later came like Oz and those shows.
Right.
But
it seems like HBO hit a stride of like making just masterpieces.
I think
early
like
90s,
Arliss came out
or
like
mid-90s.
post Oz but pre Sopranos, so it was kind
Right.
of in that and so I think some of its thunder got stolen with some of those. But pound for pound, Arliss was a fun show. It got overshadowed by Larry Sanders' show.
Yeah, for sure.
Larry Sanders' show was kind of kingfish there at that time.
Well, that show was meta before meta was a thing.
Yeah.
Which I always loved.
Yeah. Let me give you the rundown while you look that up. But I am.
Arliss began in 2004, whereas Game of Thrones started in 2011. So yeah, I was like right in that.
Yeah.
In that middle ground.
I'll have to look that up. I'll do it on the break here because I'm curious because I could picture the cover art and everything. I just can't remember the name of the show, and it was. I feel like it was some kind of. It was one guy, and the guy I don't even think seemed famous anymore. It's just weird. It was really about 2-3 seasons. I kind of dug the show though.
Well, I'm going to do some digging here. Give us the rundown. I'll let you know what I find.
We'll get you updated with the weather here in just a bit. Crystal Noble's going to join us here in mere minutes from the Roswell Humane Society. We'll get an update on pets and thrift store and all that good stuff from her. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, Wall Street business update, and whatever else we can come up with before we wrap up today's show.
Yeah, I'm not getting it here.
I'm going to take a look because I got to know. Once I see it, I'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm looking for. I just don't remember the name of it. It is 9:17. Let's do this. Let's get you up to date with the weather. Then we're going to go right into a quick commercial break. And then here in about 3.5 minutes, Crystal will join us from the Roswell Humane Society. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. We're headed for the low and mid-90s. Mix of sun and clouds, but we do have a stationary front over our area. Maybe an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Watch out for some damaging wind and hail with a few of those storms. Overnight, some showers and thunderstorms possible. Will be in the upper 60s, and then maybe an afternoon shower on Friday, upper 90s to about 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Hey Roswell, whatever you've got planned this week, cancel it, because Roswell Ford is slashing prices during our biggest Memorial Day savings event ever. These are the final days to get massive discounts with employee pricing for all. At Roswell Ford, you pay what we pay on our huge inventory of new Fords. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. Upside down in your current car, truck, or SUV and one out early, Roswell Ford can help you get out of your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. So you pay what we pay today with employee pricing to all customers on new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Our aggressive lenders will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. With massive American-made savings, employee pricing for all, and more for your trade. We'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. Get on board at Roswell Ford. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinance to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Boot, scoot, and boogie your way to the Spencer Theater on June 14th to see Dunn and Brooks, the Brooks and Dunn Tribute. This energetic tribute to the 90s country duo will have you dancing and singing along. Tickets start at $39, available online at spencertheater.com or by calling the box office at 575-336-4800. We'll see you at the Spencer.
Have you spent a lot of time trying to whiten your teeth with no real success? Here at Carabelli Dental, we have a solution. Get that perfect smile you've always wanted with veneers. Veneer treatment is quick and minimally invasive and will provide you with a confident smile in just a couple easy steps. You deserve to love your smile, so don't let another day pass you by without calling us to start the smile design process.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
Before Jesus went back to heaven, he told his apostles to go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. Notice that he said preach to all creation. After Jesus went back to heaven, the apostles began teaching and preaching the good news of Christ. In their first recorded sermon, they told the story of Jesus and how he came to seek and save the lost. At the end of the sermon, the people asked what they needed to do in response. Peter's answer was, repent and be baptized. There were people from all over the known world that heard that sermon. Christ didn't come to save just a few. He came to save all. He offers his grace and forgiveness to all who are willing to accept it. He loves us all and wants all of us to come to him. No matter where you find yourself, Jesus loves you and wants you to come to him. You need help finding the way? Well, come and see us. We want to help you on your journey.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannock device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and now officially joining us in studio from the Roswell Humane Society, Crystal Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I move stuff around on my phone, so now I can't find nothing.
Yeah, that's how it works. Like, oh, I got it. But how's life there as far as animals and everything? Everything going well there? Or?
We are. Everybody's either wanting kittens or bringing kittens. And so our few kittens that we have are still under treatment for ringworm.
So probably another week or so out.
They're on week 6 of treatment.
Okay.
And one of them still doesn't look like she's responding.
Okay.
So
that might be a bit longer on her.
Mm-hmm. So, but we have them. We just have to get them past this before we can put them up for adoption.
So keep if you've been kind of watching their progress and keep tabs. As soon as they make it to through their responding to their treatments and their vaccinations and all the stuff they need, then they will be ready to go to their forever homes.
Yes.
But,
so we have one cat available for adoption.
Okay.
She's Calico. Her name's Blanche.
But it's a very important cat.
She is. She's extremely loving. She's not like your typical Calico.
Okay.
Like, she wants love.
She wants to be up in your business all the time.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love those kind of cats.
Yes. So, like, if you're busy doing something, if you're busy doing something and she thinks that you should be paying attention to her, she's going to make you pay attention to her.
Yeah. So if you get on your laptop, she will sit on it.
Yeah. She's not, like the forceful bite you until you pay attention to her. She's just the more of, I'm going to pester you until you get annoyed and stop what you're doing to pay attention to me.
Her filter to achieve things is not as or find his other cats.
No.
But that being said, if you're looking for a loyal partner, one that kind of is with you all the time, this sounds like this cat's your perfect partner.
It's funny, like we'll take her out, like when we're moving her to the clean kennel to feed her and stuff, and so she walks around the room, when we're walking over here getting this, she follows us and meow, 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 does the
very
little
social
cat stuff, and then you go to put her in the kennel so she can eat, and she's like, I did not get on my morning love yet. This is a no.
I'm not ready for this.
So she's very personable.
Cool. Sounds like a cool cat.
She is, and I was
How
like,
old is it?
She's about 1.5 years.
So she's full grown.
Yes.
But she's still got a little kitty brain in her.
Yeah, she still plays the little kitten tunes every now and then.
Yeah.
But
so she'll keep you active too. So,
she will. And she loves catnip.
I'm gonna take a stab that this is probably not for older people. Sounds like this cat will get underfoot pretty easy.
I do think she would.
Yeah.
And obviously, we don't want to send anybody, an animal home with somebody that's gonna hurt them.
Sure.
Or them hurt the animal, obviously.
So someone that has maybe vision issues or walking issues may not be the perfect cat for, because this cat's going to be like in your feet everywhere you go.
Yes. So when you walk, you look. You walk, you look. You walk, you look. Because she's there.
Unless you want to carry her everywhere you go.
Honestly, she doesn't really like to...
Doesn't like being picked up?
No.
Some cats are weird like that.
Yeah, and I laugh because she's like, love me when all fours are on the floor, not in the air.
Or some will, my cats will give me a minute. Like I can pick them up, throw over my shoulder or whatever, and they'll be fine. After about 30 seconds to a minute, they kind of squirm and say, all right, Dad, let's put me down.
They're like, yeah, enough. Time's up.
Now, the black and white hollers. But if you carry her like a football, she kind of digs that. She's a draper. So I literally, if I carry her like a football and let her legs hang like this, she kind of digs that.
I don't know. She was kind of digging being on her back when I was rubbing her belly.
Yeah. She's a ham when it gets. But as far as carrying her, like she'll put up with football, and that's about it.
She's like, all right, that's the sport we watch on TV.
Yeah.
I'm not getting hit with that stick, so.
But she's like, well, yesterday she pulled a Kim move on me. I was home for lunch, and I was climbed back in my chair, and she came up, plopped, and sat right here and fell asleep right here on me.
You're like, but wait, I have to go back to work.
Well, I was dozing off too, so yeah, we took a 20-minute nap together.
Oh, that's cute.
But,
dogs, we have a lot. Medium to large is the majority of what we have at the shelter right now.
Okay.
We do have a couple smallish dogs. We have a boxer mix puppy.
Okay.
She's named after me, obviously, because, she was doing things that I do, and that's how she earned her name. But when she came in, she was small, cute, looked like a little pug.
Okay.
She now no longer looks like a little pug, and we realize that she's going to be a lot bigger than a pug.
Gotcha. So she'd probably be a full medium-sized dog by the end of the day here. But boxer size, roughly.
Yeah, we've had her less than 2 months, and she's already gained probably 13, 14 pounds.
Okay. So probably going to cap out probably 50 pounds or somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, she came in this size, and now she's this size.
Yeah.
So she's already bigger than a pug.
So that's more bulldog or...
yeah.
But she's got that kind of...
She does. She has a little,
face,
and then she has a little kinky curly tail, too.
That's weird.
And English bulldogs have kinky curly nubs.
What's the color schemes and everything? Is it?
She's fawn with a black muzzle, like a pug.
Okay. So
With
pug
two-
colors with bulldog facial and
then
body
two
features.
crystal blue eyes.
Interesting. So I'm just trying to picture mom and dad.
How did y'all do that?
That's
No.
this is, all right. I get it. There's a oar for every boat here.
Yes. But we have a lot of medium to large dogs. That's
Gotcha.
been the hardest to place because, a lot of people don't want or can't handle a bigger dog.
Sure.
But they're all very sweet.
This is just personal experience. If you're wanting the dogs that listen to commands and do, generally it's the medium, bigger. The little dogs are more suggestions.
Speaking of a little dog owner,
Whereas is a bigger dog or those larger breeds that are kind of designed as working dogs in some way, shape, or form, whether they're hunters or herders or whatever their job was, they tend to be more command driven, like sit. They're going to be receptive to sit, stay. The things that you do to train your dog, they're a lot easier. House breaking things. Little dogs, though full of personality and charm, if you're looking for them to sit, fetch, and stay, that's not always in their wheelhouse.
No, our little dog, if you throw it, she'll run and fetch it, but she ain't bringing it back to you.
Sure. Oh yeah, they'll play with you and stuff,
And
but
she'll thrash it around like a little alligator, crocodile, shark, and then she'll bring it back and want to play tug of war. But when you throw it and you want her to bring it back, she's like, no, mine.
Right. You shouldn't have thrown it. If you want it back, you shouldn't have thrown it.
That's pretty much. I can only just imagine her saying, you gave it up.
Yeah. That's little dogs and cats share an id there in some of that thing, but.
I did have a cat that would fetch, though. If you would take, like, the plastic ring off the top of a milk jug or a water jug, and you would throw it, she would go get it and bring it back to you and drop it at your feet.
Nice. I got my
or
cats.
Peppermints.
I get my cats to chase them, but then they lay on them and roll around on them, and they don't bring it back. But I'll throw them. They'll chase them. Won't bring it back.
They're like, toy.
Yeah. Sometimes just look at me like, what'd you do that for? I put it there for a reason.
One of the dogs, Eleanor, she's been with us for... since I think early September of last year. She's like a hound, I don't know, mastiff something mix.
Okay, so this is probably a little larger in carriage.
She's not super big.
So if you want a small mastiff, this is a good dog.
She's just stout.
Gotcha.
So she's not like big.
Right.
She's
just muscular.
Muscular.
And which mastiffs and those they're like bodybuilders.
The sweetest dog. She thinks she's a lap dog, and she has not been told otherwise.
Yeah.
So, but she loves to go for walks. She loves to be with people. She just loves, like,
It's a good family dog, sounds like. Yeah.
And kids, she sees kids and her whole body goes into like the waggle.
And remember when we have Crystal on, we talk about, dogs for protection and stuff. This is the kind of dog that if you treat it like a family dog,
yes,
the protection part will take care of itself.
Yes. we actually had a visitor yesterday at the shelter who wanted to get an animal unneutered because it makes a better guard dog. And
not from the Humane Society.
Yeah, we explained that to him and, told him, I said, honestly, regardless if they're fixed or not fixed, I said, if they're treated correctly, they will protect you at all lengths.
Yep.
But some people are just set in their ways in their mind, and
can't tell people different.
He obviously did not leave with an animal or anything because what he wanted is, one, against our policies, but two, it's a city ordinance and a state law.
Yeah, it's the law. It's got and please note, even if you live in the county, your animal has to be microchipped and or spayed or neutered. Yep. If you're adopting from a city facility. So that's just how the rule is. So even if you live out in the county, we still have to put the chip in it for identification. So whatever.
It's basically an invisible form of ownership and identity. Absolutely. So if your animal happens to get lost and the collar with tags come off, this is another way we can locate you to let you know, hey, we have your animal.
Yeah, if your dog gets picked up by animal services or any of these types of things, you will get your dog back, guaranteed, as long as you keep your tag up to date.
If you move or phone numbers change, you have to call and update it with the microchip companies.
Yeah.
So that way it's got your current information. If you
do you get the do you have to put phone number, address, or can you just put like a phone number attached to this tag? Or
well, the microchip itself, you give all your information to the company and it goes into a database registered to their number.
Okay.
So if you're just putting like a pet tag on there, you just put probably just your phone number and the
that's
animal's
what I'm thinking.
name.
Like I've had my same cell phone for as long as I've had a cell phone, the same number.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking if I just put that there, that's probably going to be good the rest of my. Because I don't anticipate me getting a new number anytime in my life.
And so on our dog's tags, it has their names and then it has mine and John's phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah, it's something to get a hold of you when they say, "Hey, we got your dog."
Right.
You can say, "Oh, I'll go pick him up."
Now, on the information for the microchip, it has my phone number, John's phone number, and both of our work phone numbers.
Gotcha.
For the microchip company, because they store it all in a database, and it's not on a little tag the dog's carrying around.
Yeah, it's like a Apple AirTag or anything.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people using those a lot more often where, you can actually GPS your dog. It only works if the collar is still on the dog.
Yeah, if the dog gets into something and the collar comes off. It's kind of like you see a lot of those, like people put a little GoPro on their cat or dog and then turn them loose and then just to see where they go on their adventures.
Yeah,
those are fun to watch. But yeah, it's only as good as long as they don't get into nothing. It's the same risk as a collar.
Right.
You know, yes, they work until that gets caught on a tree and gets ripped off, and now
somebody removes it.
Or it gets taken off because, someone, unfortunately, people steal pets for other reasons. And it's a sad thing. And I know most normal people, why would someone do that? You're absolutely right. But there's reasons that you don't want to know sometimes. And it's just not good.
Unfortunately, the majority of the issues are an animal is trying to escape and it gets caught on a fence and stuck. And if the collar is not like a very tight latching collar, they can slip it off. Or if they get stuck, they're stuck there.
Absolutely.
But one of the things, that took place this year was a new ordinance change. So there's no more chaining.
No more chaining up unless the owner is in sight of the chained animal. That's the only time it's permitted.
Yes.
As soon as you leave, that dog comes off the chain.
If you are out amongst our community and you do see an animal chained up, tied up, and there's no owner present, please get the address, call it into Roswell Animal Services, and let them know. Roswell's not a huge city, but that's a lot of grounds to cover, so the help from the community to notify would be greatly appreciated. So that way we can help everybody understand the reasoning of the new ordinances and try to get them.
And there's always a adjustment period when there's new things. And yes, they've been warning people for 4 months before they kicked it in officially. And now it's been in effect for almost 2 months now. They're going to, and that's just the thing. There's a reason why you don't chain the dogs up. Look, it's this, if it's abuse, it's no different than chaining a human being up in a yard. You would never do that to your kids. You shouldn't do it to your pets. Now, I get it. If you're in the backyard and you're trying to hang laundry and the dog's getting up the thing, okay, put the chain on there. And while you're out there hanging laundry or whatever you're doing, do your thing. But then as soon as you're done, bring them back in with you or unchain them and let them free in the yard or whatever it is you have going on there.
Right. And if you own your home but you don't have a fenced-in yard, they're going to, let you know, hey, you need to build an area that's suitable for your size of the animal so they can have natural exercise and everything. But if you don't own and your landlords, don't want you to have a fence, you're going to have to come up with an alternative solution because, regardless of the situation, the animal has to be off the chain.
Absolutely.
And it can't be running the streets and being at large. So if you take it outside, use the restroom or whatnot, but it's...
and I'm going to, just from my personal experience, most landlords that have non-fenced-in yards usually don't allow pets to begin with. Not
for the
always,
most part, but there are the few...
A few exceptions, yeah, I get
right.
it. Some houses are, in lesser repair than others, and they'll take anybody. But and a lot of those aren't equipped to have a pet.
Right.
That's the reason why the Humane Society does. That's why every time you adopt a dog from the Humane Society, they're going to go out and make sure that your yard meets the approval, that make sure it's fenced in, that there's ample opportunities for shade, for water, all that stuff for your pet. As well as if you have other dogs, there's going to be a meet and greet at the Humane Society.
Yes.
To make sure that your dogs currently and the new dog can at least now they don't have to be bosom buddies, but they don't want to kill each other at the first sight of each other.
Right.
Either.
We want to make sure that they don't try to eat each other, hurt each other.
Because otherwise you're just going to bring that pet back and or your other pets will get hurt or worse, killed. Yeah.
Right. So when we do the dog to dogs, basically it's just to make sure that on a neutral tone, when they're meeting each other for the first time, that it's not an instant disliking.
Yeah.
If they ignore each other, sniff each other, and they're like, whatever.
Right.
That's a good
We're
sign.
good. Yeah. They'll probably get along as they get to know each other and spend time alone together. They'll start to rub off on each other.
Right. They're going to be like, oh, you got that habit. Look at my habit.
Yeah, exactly.
But we try to make sure that it's going into the best environment that it can go into, and it doesn't have to be returned to a shelter.
Yeah. Be honest, sometimes you see the coolest interactions with those things. I'll never forget. This wasn't at the Humane Society. This was when I first got my dog Sissy. She was a a mixed lab, and I got her like right before Thanksgiving, and she was, a puppy, still about 7, 8 weeks old, I think, when I got her. And so we went to Ruidoso for Thanksgiving to spend time with the family, and so we brought Sissy for the first time. Come meet the family, Sissy. And so we brought Sissy. They have a yellow lab that was an older dog, probably at the time about 7, 8 years old, and it was the coolest thing I ever saw. The first time those two dogs saw each other, Daisy, the yellow lab, literally flopped on her side and tried to nurse Sissy. She's never been a mother. She's never, she's never had a litter. But for whatever reason, she saw Sissy and her instincts kicked in like, oh, you look hungry. Come here.
A maternal instinct.
And I was
something
like,
a
oh,
man
that is so cool. I was like, oh, they got no problem getting
never
along
understand.
together. Yeah. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah. She's like, oh, yep, Sissy's that's going to hurt.
Yeah. And then it's funny now. It wasn't funny then. Because we got Sissy from Animal Services. And she developed kennel cough. And we found, like I said, we literally got her the day before. And then so that first night we were there, that's when the kennel cough showed up. And it was, and so we had to treat her for kennel cough like 2 days. But yeah, it was I remember that weekend. It was the first time it was a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in years came out of town with us, and they had the new puppy. And it was a whole thing that weekend with Sissy. And then she got kennel cough. It was a thing. But it was, now it's all funny, but it wasn't so much at the time.
No. So we got a lot of good stuff at the thrift shop too.
Awesome. So if you're looking to buy things, and of course, don't forget, if you got things you need to unload, please reach out to Camille in the thrift store. That stuff, that's what keeps the doors open. That's what keeps these vet bills paid. That's what keeps the litter, the cleaning supplies, all the things that need to keep that place open, keeps it going. So
yes.
Please bring them by and buy.
So if you are, getting ready for college, you got your own dorm, or you're just tired of looking at what you got and you want something new.
Yeah.
They have a ton of furniture.
Good deal.
A ton. She's still got 2 of the armoires. They sold 1.
Okay.
So she's still got 2. She has a table with 6 chairs.
Okay.
And if it's the same one I saw yesterday or the day before, the ends fold down.
Okay.
So you could either make it a square table or a round table.
Yeah, we actually own one of those kind of style tables, and they're very handy. They're really, the way they work is you go from 4 to like 6, I think, right away. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. If anybody's in need of a wheelchair, they got a couple of wheelchairs there.
Okay. I'm assuming like non-powered.
Yeah, just the.
Yeah, push ones, manual ones.
Yeah. The muscular ones.
Not the ones with the steering sticks and the 70 horsepower. Yeah.
The 2 twin turbos.
Right.
They've got a ton of swimsuits out since summer is.
Tis the season.
Canning jars. This is the time of the year where people are growing their gardens and vegetables, and they're going to can stuff for the fall months. They've got canning jars of all sizes, from small to big.
So stock up.
Yes. Curtain rods, like designer.
Okay.
Cutie,
fancier
curtain rods.
Much more nice than those white ones that you buy like 3 at a time.
If you have animals that are outside and you need like some bedding, blankets, or something to throw down, so that way they just have an extra something.
Sure.
She's got a lot of what they call dog bedding.
Okay. Stuff to put between them and the dirt, basically.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Pretty much. Microwaves, college students going off. A lot of DVDs. And I know everything's gone digital and all of that.
I think there's like a resurge. Like there's like I remember reading, I think there's like a group of these kids now. They're like, so you can watch it whenever you want. Like they realize like, I don't need internet to watch this.
Yeah, you just put it in and go. Yeah.
Right? And so there is like a little bit of a resurge of people collecting DVDs again.
Yeah, so they got a ton of DVDs. They actually have a set of rims. They're size 17s, and they're all brand new in the box.
Okay.
I think she has 500 marked on them because they're valued at like over $1,000.
Okay. So you're getting a great deal on some rims if you need 17-inch rims.
Yes.
So I'm going to guess 17 inches more for like a truck or something a little bit bigger.
I don't know. My SUV has 19.
Okay.
So...
But not a little car. This is going to be more of a SUV truck size, 17-inch. Yeah.
Vacuum cleaners. Going off to college, you're going to need to clean your dorm.
That's right.
Ton of vacuum cleaners.
And don't get a nice one. Like, when the kids go to college, buy them nothing. Like, if you're going to buy it nice, buy it from the thrift store for pennies on the dollar.
Yep.
Don't be going out and buying some $400 vacuum cleaner for your kid who's going to break it 3 months into the semester. That's all I'm saying. So if you go buy the thrift store and it breaks 3 months into the semester, like, well, at least I didn't pay a lot for it.
Yeah. Brand new men's SAS shoes, which I have no clue what that is.
SAS?
SAS.
All right. I don't
or
either.
Sasses. I don't know.
Make a sass out of yourself.
They're men's,
That's
so
right.
that kind of, the shoe fits.
Sass it up.
Sass it up.
It's sassy.
The big, huge drink dispensers, like when you make like tea
and you got, like,
or
the big,
lemonade.
Yeah,
the
this
little
big,
pour spout.
Yeah.
Just got a couple of them.
Those are handy,
They-
especially with picnics and things coming up. You're going
Uh-huh.
to be doing things out at the park. You can fill it up with lemonade or
Yep.
Kool-Aid or whatever. Yeah.
Baskets, like if you have anybody that likes to do the decorating baskets like they do for like the Historical Society when they put it all in
Gift
the
baskets and things.
pretty
well,
wrap.
And I know, we're getting close to like golf tournament seasons and all that stuff going on. And a lot of them have silent auction items. And if you need like baskets to put those together, your
Yes.
nonprofit might pick a few up at the thrift store here.
When we did ours in September,
Mhm.
the majority of our baskets came from
Perfect.
the
Yeah.
donations from the thrift shop,
Yeah.
and we just, had
It's a great way to add
Stuck in.
value to something to
Mhm.
your organization. It's a great way to do it. I'll tell Amy. She usually stocks up on these.
yeah. Tell her Camille's got a ton.
Yeah.
Jewelry, from costume jewelry
Okay.
to actual real diamond,
to the
real
valuable
jewelry.
stuff.
Yeah. We got a lot of jewelry. All the summer clothes are out. So shorts, tank tops, swimsuits,
Summer dresses.
summer
those things.
dresses.
Yeah.
It's all out.
Good deal.
Now I'm calling out to all the fishermen
All right.
that are not short and stubby, but not tall and skinny.
Okay.
The in
Average,
the middle.
The in-betweeners.
The in-betweeners.
The Goldilocks of fisher people.
Yes. She has 2 brand new pair of the wading fish pants.
Oh, the hip
that-
waders?
No,
Yeah.
all the way up to the chest.
Oh, so it goes like almost like overalls.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
And boots are all in one.
Gotcha.
So you just slide in
So
like,
that's like
bib
crab
overalls,
fisherman looking outfit.
and then
yeah.
pull it up, and then it
I
locks
think
in.
all you need is the coat, and you literally got like the crab fisherman outfit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She's got 2 of them, and they're
Okay.
brand new.
Oh wow.
And
I bet those are a couple $100 a piece new. I've never priced
sure.
them, but I'm gonna take a stab there about that.
I'm sure because the pants without the boots were like $250
And if I remember right, they're kind of thick to protect, like
for insulation. So
Yeah.
therefore, you're not
But
getting
like even if like
hypothermia.
shark bite, I'm not shark bite. You know what I mean? Like fishing bites or things like that. It offers a layer of protection there. Not to mention insulation for warmth. But yeah, so those,
if you
those
like
are
to
pricey.
go wade in the water, we got the wading pants for you.
Or if you just like to hang out in sewers, I guess maybe that's your bag. I don't know, but you got pants to do it.
Or if you work at the water waste facility
You know
place
what?
and occasionally you have to step in things you don't like.
You know, there's
We
bound
got
to be
you.
yeah. So, but yeah, those are every. Yeah, that should be a thing for people that go, especially if you go out and do things like, or even if you're not necessarily doing that, maybe you're just going out. You know, I could see those easily working for if you're out cutting trees and doing stuff, offering a little protection for the bottom half of you while you're cutting and sawing and everything else.
Well, so I saw them and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, like I feel like there's other uses.
And
for
then,
them.
because, so I got stuff to do magnet fishing.
Magnet.
Magnet fishing.
Okay.
So it's a big, heavy magnet with a big, tight rope, and you throw it in the water, and then you drag it back, and anything metal's going to attach to this magnet, and then it's basically treasure hunting.
Oh, okay.
And
I gotcha.
I saw those, and I was like,
I thought I could see that.
I could walk out farther in the water and then throw this. And then I was like, yeah, that's not going to fit. I'm too short and too wide.
I don't know. I feel like your husband can help you make this happen. If you tell him the idea, he's going to find a way.
Well, we have a boat. We're just trying to get the trailer registered, and then we're good.
Right. I just feel like between the two of you, you could jerry rig something to make this happen. So.
Yeah. I'm floating out there, get a
Please film
fish
it though when
board,
you do.
a fishing board.
Yeah.
A
Please.
surfboard. Sorry, not fishing board.
Paddle
surfboard.
board or whatever you call it.
Paddle
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
and just be sitting in the water and just dunking it in, and then I'm gonna pull up something huge and be like, help.
My uncle's a big paddle boarder. He has a house on the water back in Maryland. And literally, they sit on like a surfboard looking thing. And they have a canoe paddle. And they just kind of diddy bop around the river. They do it all the time. He does that.
I need something with the motor.
Right? I'm just like, get a rowboat. I mean, come on, at least sit. I mean, you do you, but this looks stupid.
My luck, I'm gonna get all the way out there, and then it's gonna go bloop, and then everything I got's gonna be. Oops.
Yeah, there's got to be a balance to things, but whatever, But again, if you are shopping, and I say this every time, if you're looking for new stuff, don't go to the thrift store. Go there first. If
They
you can't
have
find
some
it,
really cool wall decor too. And the reason it is still there is because I don't have any wall space.
Because you haven't bought it yet.
But I have a thing for maps, like global maps, that
Okay.
like not the big globes, but like when it's
Right.
spread out.
Like those, almost like those ancient looking sea maps, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I love those, and there's a couple of them that are
Nautical
next
maps,
door,
yeah.
and I'm just like, oh.
You'd like my sister-in-law, my brother and my sister-in-law. Because they went to Maritime Academy and boat thing, and so they got a lot of nautical stuff. Several of those maps that you're talking about, I know are in their home every time I go in there. You'd like their house. It's got that kind of, and that's not uncommon in Maryland to have lighthouses and a lot of stuff like that in your house.
Take a trip. We're going on vacation. Mike, you're going on vacation.
Okay. But yeah, so if you like that kind of stuff, there's some real cool items.
And they
there.
have like a lot of like hope, faith, Jesus, like crosses,
The words and stuff.
like religious stuff, and then they have just regular decor.
Is there a few of those big Texas stars that you see on every home in Texas? That big, how they put the big
They've
giant
been there.
star.
They've been there.
I'm about to say they're not there now. They will be soon.
Yeah, but we've had them. But they get a ton of and really, you don't find these things unless you're looking at like thrift stores or stores that are specific
And then when
to
you
these
do
items.
find them, they're usually 60 times the price. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know, don't get me wrong, there's some beautiful shops in Ruidoso that sell some of the things you're talking about here. I guarantee you, if you find these things in the thrift store here, they're going to be $10, $15, $20. You find them in a store like that, you're spending $50, $60, $100, $200.
Yep.
Even more depending on size and what it's made out of. So yeah.
Yep. Every time I walk over there, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
oh. If I only had room for that, oh. And then there's things that I'm like, okay, I can make room for that.
Yeah, it's like I will find a way.
Yep.
But and again, and this is what I said, every time you make a donation there or make a purchase there, that the money from that goes right back to the Humane Society. It goes to take care of these animals. It goes to take care of that facility. It goes to make sure that for the next generation of pets, there's a home, find homes for them.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. So, and I ask, if you do have things to donate, just work with Camille. Call her, especially if it's bigger items like couches and furniture, things like that. They'll even pick it up. But sometimes, there's limited storage. And so sometimes we got to make room for the other stuff first. So be like,
yeah, because we can't pack it jam full because we got to make sure that there's room for people to walk around
right,
and
there's
not
ADA compliances
trip
and things
and
that
fall
you
and
gotta
get hurt.
meet,
So,
yeah.
Camille will always tell you, give me like a day or two. I got to rearrange some stuff around, try to get things.
Or sometimes there's a direct deal. It's like, you know what? We don't have room, but I have someone looking for a couch. Let me put you in touch with them or whatever, and we can work a deal. And so we'll have it picked up directly from them, and they'll pay us or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I'm sure that does happen from time to time and that thing. But please do that. And I always, and this is something, doesn't matter time of years, but especially now that kids are graduating school and doing things. If you're stepping out into the professional world and all of a sudden you need to buy business clothing, whether it's dresses or suits or whatever that is, clothes that aren't, with full legs and aren't made of denim or whatever it is, don't go buy that stuff new. Go to the thrift store because I know dresses can get pricey, but for men's suits, even cheap suits, you're $300-$400. And that's for low-end suits. And I don't know about you, but I don't have $300 to throw in for one outfit for one day.
I concur.
And so you go to the thrift store and you can get a whole bunch of those $300-$400 suits or dresses and pay about $100 probably for all of them. And now you're covered for the week, and then you're good to go. And guess what?
And you still look like you paid $300-$400 per outfit.
But to say these suits are probably, their name brands are good. These are high-end suits in some cases. It's all of them good business clothes, good stuff. And maybe you don't need suits, but you need a good dress, you need slacks, or you need good button-ups.
Need dress shirts.
Yeah, come down and buy that stuff there. Most of it's practically brand new. Some still has the tags on it. Shoes as well, if you need dress shoes, business shoes. come down to the thrift store and look first, because you might find those $150 shoes brand new for about $30 at the store.
The men's sasses or whatever they're called are
Yeah.
probably expensive shoes, and she's probably got $25 on them.
Yeah. And women, same thing. Same thing. I know I'm about to make a bunch of shoe fetish husband hating, but women, stop buying your shoes new. To satisfy your fetish and not break your bank, go to the thrift store and buy them.
Well, I can't tell you how many times I found Michael Kors shoes over there.
Oh, yeah, there's high-end shoes there.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Because guess what? There's women just like you, like, oh, I got to make room for these. Here's my other $200 shoes I don't need anymore. Here they are. And so they're just like you, dropping off new ones and pick up. So get in the game, man. I mean, why not? And you ain't
Be
paying.
in the circle of rotation.
And your husband or partner will definitely maybe appreciate the fact you're not spending your entire paycheck on these things.
Or his entire paycheck.
Right. Exactly. So
Like, oh, you got 6 pair of shoes for the price of one?
exactly.
Wow.
Now you justify as a bargain. Next thing you know, they're shopping there too.
Yep.
Because everyone likes nice things at
Do
a
you
good
know
price.
what? I got John bargain shopping now.
Good. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I
See?
mean, look, there's certain areas I stay away from. Like, you ain't ever catching me buying underwear at the thrift store. Not going to happen.
Yes, I agree.
I don't even know if it's for sale, but I'm not going to buy it. But anything else like that's pretty much game on, man. I mean, why not? You know? Why not? You know what? Boots, shoes, especially like work boots and stuff. You drop all, and they're built to be dogged out. And so why spend brand new money on those boots when you can get them broken and they'll last another 20 years? Like my combat boots from Basic, I still have them bad boys. It was 30 years ago I was in the military.
Do you wear them regularly?
Not every day, but once or twice a year I'm popping them bad boys on.
Hey.
Yeah.
John's are in a tote.
Anytime the weather's mucky, I'm like, oh, time for the boots.
All right.
Yeah. They're steel toe. They weigh 800 pounds, but man, they're tough as nails. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could kick through a brick wall with them things, but
Your foot might not like it, but
Right.
you'd be all right.
Exactly. I just saw the time. We need to wrap this up. But is there any other specials? Anything we missed we wanted to cover there?
No, I think we got it all.
But like you said, right now, just the one calico that needs a home, but it's a good one. If you got a family cat or need someone that needs a partner in
She definitely
crime.
wants to be, and she's been around other cats, so she's used to
So
other
she's
cats.
good with multiple cats and everything else.
She's not angry at dogs. She's just like, you give me my space, I'll give you yours.
I would imagine the right dog will warm up to this cat.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure she'd be like, oh, you're going to give me attention too? All right.
Yeah.
So she's super friendly.
Good deal. So if you're like, but be mindful, this one's going to need your attention.
Yeah.
This one will demand it. And so
She's
if you're,
not going to be the independent cat.
if you're not
She's
willing
going to be the dog cat.
So you're not willing to have a cat rub up and get up in your business all the time, this may not be your
I
cat. But
agree.
if you love that, then she's going to be your partner.
Yep.
And again, come on by the thrift store. Don't forget, Wednesday's our new stuff day. 10 o'clock is when the new stuff, because they're closed Monday and Tuesdays for restocking and resupplying and all that. But every Wednesday at 10 a.m., that's why I have the 10 o'clock club. They're there. Be a part of that. And then, but then it's open through Saturday.
Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4:30.
Yep. And then give the shelter hours, too.
Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 12 and 1 to 4:30. I do want to remind people, yes, it is summertime. It is sandal season, but you cannot enter either shelter unless you have on tennis shoes.
Closed-toed
Crocs
shoes.
are not allowed at either facility.
Yeah, those have holes. They're not closed-toed
Yes.
either.
So
Closed-toed shoes.
Closed-toed shoes, tennis shoes, boots.
That is for your safety and the animal safety.
It is, and because you have to go through a bleach mat, the bleach underneath the bottom of certain shoes makes it like a slip and slide. And on concrete, we don't want anybody busting their head.
And quite frankly, sandals have zero traction.
Yep.
Usually they're slick things. And
Even
so,
some tennis shoes,
Yeah.
get kind of
Well,
slippery.
Depends on how old your shoes are. Like I had shoes that used to have tread, but not so much anymore.
So then I'm going to send you to the thrift store. But just be mindful
good, but not
when you're coming to the shelter. If you pop in on a whim because you're on the side of town, we're not trying to be mean, but
Right,
you
it's-
got to have tennis shoes, no Crocs, no sandals, flip-flops, no high heels.
Well, the moment you let your guard down is when lawsuits and bad things happen.
Yes.
So that's why we don't do that.
So neither shelter will allow you in if you have on Crocs or sandals and stuff.
They're going to turn you around.
Yep.
So Get your closed-toed shoes, and just
Keep
make note that.
Keep a pair in your vehicle so that way if you stop on a whim, you got something to change into.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like if I knew, never mind. I was gonna say like at DC, I used to see all the time these people that commute to work, and of course, women don't want to wear their high heels on the subway and all that, so they wear their sneakers, and then they get to work and pull out their high heels and put their sneakers in a bag. So,
yep.
Do something like that.
Yep.
Good deal. And RoswellHumane.org is a
Yes.
website for everything to pets. If you want to become a member, you, your kids, your dogs, everybody become a member, and all of that. Again, that your membership fees go back to helping the shelter and everything.
Yes, and the July newsletter we'll
Coming-
be starting on
coming
that.
soon to a mailbox
We'll be
near
starting
you.
on that here. Almost just one more thing to do.
That's right. Add it to the list. Well, thank you, ma'am, as
Thank you,
always.
thank you.
And we'll see you here in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Stay cool.
Yeah.
It's going to get warm this weekend.
I know.
By the way, 98 degrees. Don't be walking dogs in the middle of the day now. It's not the time.
No.
Not the time at all. It is 9:59. Let's do a SRN business update before they kick me off the radio.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Unemployment applications hit an 8-month high last week as 247,000 Americans filed for benefits, according to the Labor Department. On Friday, the government releases the jobs report for the month of May. Analysts expect the May report to show that U.S. employers added 130,000 jobs last month, down from 177,000 in April. Procter & Gamble says it expects to cut 7,000 non-manufacturing jobs as part of a 2-year restructuring plan. That's roughly 15% of the Cincinnati-based company's headcount. The European Central Bank has cut the EU's benchmark interest rate by 1/4 point. In the U.S., the Federal Reserve has yet to cut interest rates this year after slashing them through the end of last year. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Breaking news this hour.